clear skies and cool weather in Statesboro, Georgia from Paulson Stadium. It's the Georgia Southern Eagles hosting the Ball State Cardinals on ESPN+. It is also homecoming for Georgia Southern. The Eagles are 30-9 in the modern era, but lost their homecoming game last season against in-state rival Georgia State, trying to right their wrongs here against the Cardinals. We thank you for joining us alongside Cole Neely and Amy Zimmer. I'm Danny Wall. What a 2 games on the road it was for the Eagles. An upset win against Nebraska, but lost their first game of the year against UAB. Cole, how did the Eagles get back on track this evening?
Well, Danny, it's like taking a pre-calculus test, okay? You might fail the first one. That's all right. But you kind of get that paper back. You see the red marks. You see what you did wrong. You fix that preparation. And once you do that, you kind of have an idea how you can succeed on the next test.
On the flip side, for Ball State, winning their first game of the year, 31-0 shutout against Murray State at home. How do the Cardinals keep that consistency on the road?
Well, it's like taking a test. Once you pass the first test, you continue to see what you did right in your preparation, and you keep that same format going. If you're able to do that, you're going to stay in the win column.
When it comes to keys to the game, what is the keys for each team to get a win today?
Well, see, for Ball State, they got to be able to start fast. We talked to their coaches, and they said they didn't start that fast on offense in the first half. So if they're able to fix that and get going, they can have a really good start to the game. And then defensively, they got to make Van Treese uncomfortable. Force him to make some mistakes. Force him to throw some interceptions. For Georgia Southern, you got to make Ball State one-dimensional. Take away the passing game. Take away the running game. Do something to make your life easier against the run-pass options. And then offensively, you got to limit turnovers. Throw it to the guys in blue. That's all you got to do. You do those things, you can win the game for Georgia Southern.
This is a first-time ever matchup between the Eagles and the Cardinals, and also the final non-conference game of the season for Georgia Southern. The Eagles will get the football first, and we are underway in Paulson Stadium. Darius Lewis on the return from the 1, and he gets hit hard as the ball rolls out of bounds. What a opening hit from Ball State. They came ready to play.
That's how you make a statement early, Danny. You talk about starting fast. I think they're going to start pretty fast. Golly.
Well, when it comes to offense, 6-year senior quarterback Kyle Van Treese makes his way on the field for the Eagles' first drive, looking to have a bounce-back performance compared to UAB last week through a touchdown and 3 interceptions in that loss.
Yeah, rough day in the offense for Van Treese. I mean, throwing 3 picks and only having 1 touchdown. I mean, that's one of those things where you got to turn a page. See what's going on here.
And I believe we may already have our first penalty of the evening. Or they're rechecking the spot of the ball because Darius Lewis got hit hard, and then you saw the ball just fly out of his arms.
It kind of reminds me of one of those scenes from a Menace to Society. I mean, the way he got hit, it's kind of like, that's gruesome right there. Or am I thinking about Boys in the Hood? You know, they say like, Ricky, you know, kind of like that, Danny. That might be what I'm thinking about because, I mean, he just got lit up. I mean, that doesn't kind of get you going, get your fire hot. Hoo-wee, man, you're going to be in for a long one.
What a shot from Lauren Strickland, the redshirt sophomore, on the kickoff. I mean, when we spoke with Ball State head coach Mike New, he said that, you know, you got to win the game in all 3 facets, offense, defense, and special teams. And you're already seeing what special teams, how big of a factor that is around the opening kick.
I know Coach New has to be really excited about that one. I mean, Danny, I saw the way their sideline got juiced up after that hit, and they were fired up. You can tell this is a team that's hungry to get their second win.
So it will be first down for the Eagles at their own 11-yard line. As Van Treese makes his way back out in the field. Lined up next to him, Jalen White, the running back. 3 receivers set to start their first drive. Man in motion is Caleb Hood, and he'll get the football. Some trickery from the Eagles on first down. Turns out to be a screen pass back to Hood. Gets across the 20 and taken down at the 23.
Heck of a play to start it off right there, Danny. Love the play call right there. I know they weren't expecting that. Ball State caught them on their heels a little bit, and now you see the tempo offense start to kick in.
Georgia Southern has had some of those trick plays in the first couple of weeks. Had a flea flicker on the road and a fresh set of downs. So from the 23, Hood lined up on the right side. Another screen pass, this time to Jeremy Singleton. Doesn't get much on the first down reception.
Really good blocking up front, Danny. I mean, you look at the play right there, and just beautiful.
Singleton, one of the impact players with a veteran offensive line for Georgia Southern. 2nd and 7. It's a handoff to Jalen White, has a hole, gets a first down, and tackled at the 39.
Really beautiful play call. Caught Ball State on their heels. They were expecting pass, you can tell right there, and really good crease for the running back to get going. And when you see green grass, you got a haul, man.
And White, he did have a great game against UAB in the 35-21 loss, ran for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He'll be facing a base 3-4 defense from Ball State, led by Cole Pierce and Clayton Cole, the inside linebackers. And keep an eye out for Nick Jones, the cornerback. Vantrease scrambles in the middle and gets taken down about the 44-yard line.
Gotta give Vantrease credit. He knows how to get loose back there.
He has been known to scramble, but after that 3-interception game against UAB, came back in, refocused this week to prepare for the Cardinals. Gain of 5 for Vantrease. They give it to White again, and White up the middle, another Eagles first down.
Beautiful play call right there. It looks like a little bit kind of like a trap play. Garrett has a good, nice little kick out block right there. Get the hole open for the running back to get some yards on that. Get easy first down pickup. Georgia Southern's moving.
Continuing to go. This will be the 6th play of the drive. 1st and 10 again. White handoff to the right. Absorbs contact. It's about 3 or 4 yards on that run. Tackled by Jaquan Amos.
Gonna want to see White press that a little bit more. I think he could have found some running room. He would have pressed the run instead of trying to bounce it outside. I think there was an opportunity there had he just trusted it.
A balance of run and pass plays. 2 in the air, 4 on the ground. Another run, and this time White nowhere to go. Was gobbled up in the middle by Cole Pierce, the linebacker.
And everything just collapsed right there. These guys found ways to kind of get a little leakage in the backfield, and some blocks didn't hold up well.
So this will be the first 3rd down play for the Eagles in Ball State territory at the 45. Notice how the Cardinals loading up the box, showing 5 or 6 men up front. Play clock at 3. Vantrease, plenty of time in the pocket, lets it go, and it's caught on the far side. It's Bo Johnson down the sideline, stepped out of bounds, but another first down for the Eagles in their first 3rd down conversion.
They almost had Vantrease right there. The blitz kind of came in a little bit late. Looks like the corner came from depth, and he didn't have a chance. Vantrease steps up in the pocket, makes a throw while getting hit, and the receiver makes a really good play, gets the first down, a little bit extra yards.
Got to give credit to the offensive line. You look at our impact players for Georgia Southern and Ball State.
Jalen White is going to be a really good one.
There's Gerald Green on the carry, and he breaks the tackle. Inside the 20, gets taken down to 15. The Eagles are moving in the red zone.
When you look at this running back crew that they have a staple of running backs. It's like a bunch of horses, and you look at the replay right here. Really good block, got a pancake block. Some things just seeped in, and then Green finds a hole, and he keeps those legs moving. I mean, you can tell he's a workhorse right there.
That is a gain of 14 for Green. From the 16-yard line, Green gets it again, left side, and that time not as successful. Sidney Houston on the tackle for Ball State.
And that outside zone run didn't work well. Looks like some guys couldn't get their guys moving forward. Offensive linemen can't give up. They can't give up depth. They can't get up width when they're trying to make a zone block. You got to shoot that head and get some vertical movement.
5 minutes have gone by in the first quarter. Man in motion is White. He'll get the screen pass, has blockers inside the 10, and taken down at the 7.
Nice little kind of empty backfield action, set up the screen. All the offensive linemen went for the cut.
Jordan Riley Scott on the tackle. 3rd down and 2. They give it to White quickly. He spins around inside the 5. He'll get a 1st down for Georgia Southern.
Really good patience right there by White. Doesn't see the hole there. Now that's a good time when you bounce it out, try to get some yards, use a little spin, fight for those extra yards to kind of help your team, help your offense get in position to score.
Georgia Southern was 3 for 5 in the red zone last week in their 35-21 loss against the UAB Blazers. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4. Jalen White still in the backfield next to Van Treese. White gets the carry, has the bounce outside, and he is stopped by multiple Cardinals. Great awareness by Keontae Newsom to prevent a touchdown.
Really good by the defense right there. You want to be really good in the goal line. Right here, they're this close. If you can't get a turnover, you force them to kick a field goal. I feel like that's a huge win for a defense if you can force the offense to not be on the field on 3rd down, not get a touchdown off this drive.
This is a lengthy opening drive for Georgia Southern. This is their 14th play. Only a gain of 1 on the previous run. Here's a handoff to J.J. McAfee, who doesn't get much yardage. Great job by the Ball State defense and Sidney Houston.
Yeah, I see Southern trying to go for that jet sweep action right there. Kind of a pass, still a pass in a way because Van Treese got the ball out in front of him. It just didn't work out well. You can see that the defense read that well, and they're able to make a play in space. And that's something you want to be good at, making tackles in space. Take you a long way.
Third down play for the Eagles in the 15th play of their opening drive. Under 8 to play in the 1st, screen pass, this time Amari Jones, and he is hit quickly by the safety, Jordan Riley.
And one of the reasons why that play didn't work, Danny, so in that, you saw the defense, they only had 3 down linemen. They had 2 guys in the backer box, and outside of that, they had like basically 6 guys in coverage. So it's easy for them to see that the ball's coming out there, where it's this little wide receiver screen pass or bubble pass. All you got to do is beat one guy that's probably going to make one block. If you beat that guy, it's easy to make a play on that.
Ended up being a loss of 5 for the Eagles. So a 25-yard field goal for Alex Rayner. He's 2 for 2 on field goals this year. And he will make it 3 for 3. And the Eagles are on the board, capping off a 16-play drive. Ball State will have the football when we come back. Eagles score first, 3-0 on ESPN+. 3-0 Eagles after Alex Rayner converting a 25-yard field goal, capping off a 16-play drive that took 7:46 off the clock. And for more on Georgia Southern, we send it down to our sideline reporter, Amy Zimmer.
Thanks, Danny. Following their first loss of the season, Georgia Southern head coach Clay Helton told me there's a specific mental approach he expects his team to follow. Enter the locker room feeling hurt and angry. However, when it comes time to leave the locker room, it's time to reset and make those corrections. I asked Helton how the team responded this week, and he told me the team had their best week of practice yet. He was extremely happy with how the team competed and overall loved how his players responded. Expect the Eagles to play with a chip on their shoulder and feed off the energy here at Paulson Stadium after 2 weeks on the road.
Thank you, Amy. And Ball State will let that ball sail into the end zone, and we will see redshirt junior John Paddock lead the Ball State Cardinals offense in their first drive. And on the flip side, compared to Kyle Van Treese, Cole, John Paddock had a great night against Murray State in their win last week.
I know, it's kind of weird when you look at the stats for it. I mean, Paddock, he threw for 3 touchdowns and only had 1 interception. We saw what happened with Van Treese, but this is a quarterback who doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's been around. He's seen a lot of football on the sideline, so he's been ready to take over and hold the reins.
A redshirt junior, but this is his first season as the starting quarterback for Ball State. And an end around, some trickery from the Cardinals as Ja'Shawn Jackson gets to the 45-yard line.
Ja'Shawn Jackson's a guy they're going to go to a lot. You see the lineups right here. You have a lot of guys that have a lot of experience. You see Carson Steele, the running back, number 33. You saw Ja'Shawn Jackson. And then you look at the offensive line, a unit that is pretty massive if you want to think about it, Danny.
Screen pass to Jackson. That time to not get far. Look at the starting defense for the Eagles. They have a lot of veterans on their team, 6-year seniors in Justin Ellis and Dylan Springer. Keep an eye out for Marquez Watson Trent. Had a great game against UAB, 7 tackles. And Mark Stampley II, true freshman, making his first start on the year. So after a 3-yard reception, 2nd and 7, and pass is caught on the slant route to Johannes Tyler. And Tyler, did he get enough for a first down? No, just shy of about a yard. So 3rd and 1. Hurry up offense from Ball State. Here is Carson Steele. And Steele, leaping over a Georgia Southern defender, gets to the 25. Would you believe me if I told you that Carson Steele is only a sophomore at 6'1", 215?
Well, he sure doesn't play like this. This is a beautiful run. So they're trying to run inside zone. It kind of collapsed on the hole, and he bounces outside and makes a beautiful leap over a Georgia Southern defender and gets the first down.
Tried to get over Justin Birdsong. Fresh set of downs for the Cardinals. Trips right. Paddock, handoff to Steele again. And he gets inside the 20.
There's some laundry out there.
And a flag, our first flag on the day. Our referee, Marshall Lewis. So after the 7-yard gain from Steele. And that's going to be a penalty on Georgia Southern. That'll take the Cardinals half the distance to the goal.
Self-inflicted wounds, Danny. That's what kills defenses right there. You can't have those.
And now the face mask on Georgia Southern. So costly. With under 5.5 minutes to go. It's on Birdsong. 1st and 10 from the 10. Toss to Steele. And Steele inside the 5, taken down at the 4 after a gain of 6. That's the 3rd carry for Steele in this drive.
See, Ball State slowed down the tempo a little bit. They've already established a good now they're picking things up. Here they go. Oh, this is getting exciting.
2nd and 5. Inside the Steele, he is gobbled up, and Anthony Wilson is there first for the Eagles.
Really beautiful play. Found a way to beat those offensive linemen, get some leakage, and cause maybe he might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
It will be 3rd down and 5. So the second 3rd down play for Ball State, 8th play of their opening drive.
To be honest, Danny, I know it's more likely going to be a pass, but I would love to keep this in the hands of a guy that I know can fight for those extra yards in Carson Steele.
Paddock will throw. And is bobbled around and almost intercepted by Birdsong. Nonetheless, a great 3rd down stop from the Eagles defense.
And right there, that's a huge win for the Eagles defense. You forced an offense that was kind of moving you around a little bit to kick a field goal, and you look at that, they almost tried to run a little pick route right there. It didn't work out well. The timing was a little off, and almost a good heads-up play by number 18 right there to get the interception from the Eagles. Birdsong.
So 20-yard field goal try for the Cardinals. Ben Van Gooten, 5 for 5 in field goals this year. Former 2-time All-American from Indiana Wesleyan. And he'll stay perfect, 6 for 6, and evens things up for Ball State. Through a 9-play drive by the Cardinals, ties things up at 3. Eagles get the ball back. Winning return on ESPN+. Plus. A 22-yard field goal by Ben Van Gooten evens things up at 3 for Ball State. Amy Zimmer has more on the Cardinals.
I asked Ball State head coach Mike New how the team's demeanor changed coming off their first win of the season. New said it was a much-needed confidence boost and noticed his players having an extra pep in their step throughout the entire week. New added he expects the team to carry their momentum into a tough environment as Georgia Southern, they're one of the winningest programs in college football at home, creating a great challenge. Entering this week, the Eagles hold the 4th best home field advantage in the FBS, posting 206 wins and just 46 losses at Paulson Stadium, trailing Alabama, Boise State, and Oklahoma.
Thanks, Amy. And Ball State able to even things up 3 apiece. Lewis catches it at the 2. Lewis bouncing to the outside across the 20. He'll get pushed out of bounds. And we'll see Vantrease and the Eagles offense out for a second time. Cole, what's the big thing you saw the first drive on each side?
Well, for the Eagles, I mean, you look at it, Kyle Vantrease is 6 for 6. That's pretty good right there. It's a heck of a start. And then you look at their offense, they're moving the ball well. They're doing a lot of great things. And defensively for the Eagles, they got to figure out how to stop that tempo offense that Ball State started to run on them late. For instance, Ball State, they're moving the ball really well too. Defense has to play a little bit better on their heels, but they're starting to adjust, and we're going to see what they do on the series.
From their own 25, Gerald Green, the running back, next to Vantrease. 4:05 to play in the opening quarter. Hand off to Green, breaks a tackle, and absorbs contact, running right into Clayton Cole, and I think Cole had help from the other linebacker, Cole Pierce.
A lot of Coles out there, but you saw right there, number 74, Pishon Wembley got a little beat right there on that run, and that's what kind of forced the ball to keep going outside, and that's where all the help started to come in for Ball State, and they were able to make a play right there.
Wembley, the left guard, the true freshman out of all the fifth-year and sixth-year seniors up front in the O-line for Georgia Southern. 2nd and 10, or rather 2nd and 14 after the loss. Empty backfield. Vantrease, plenty of time in the pocket, going deep and overthrew his target, Derwin Burgess. And there is a flag on the play, likely pass interference on Ball State.
Yeah, Danny, I'll tell you one thing. If the refs were hesitant on it, those fans were going to let them know. I could hear from up here, they were upset about it.
It's going to go on Jordan Riley on the pass interference.
But really good protection overall, though, Danny. That was it. Vantrease had all the time in the world to make that play happen, but, you know, again, they threw it in coverage, of course, pass interference, but look at this, just beautiful coverage all day in the pocket. Look, man, I'm not British, but you could have had some tea and crumpets back there if you really wanted to.
Well, the O-line for Georgia Southern has been extremely protective of Vantrease. He has not been sacked yet in the first 3 games of the year. Handoff this time to O.J. Arnold, the true freshman from Quitman, Georgia. And you'll see a lot of the running back core for Georgia Southern make some big plays. You've already seen White, Green, and now Arnold in the first quarter. Arnold will stay on the field. 2nd and 6 from the Eagles' 40. 4 receivers set. 3-man rush. Arnold again through the middle. Gets across midfield. And a shoestring tackle made by the Cardinals.
Beautiful run right there. Nice run on the inside. You saw a little crease had opened up there. They had 3 down linemen. They had 4 guys kind of covering in that middle of the field. But it looks like they were more concerned about the coverage. They were keeping their eyes on Vantrease and not really on the running back. So that was a really good play call right there to kind of keep Ball State honest.
Gain of 11 for Arnold. The shoestring tackle by Jaquan Amos. So in Cardinals territory from the 49, first down, screen pass to Caleb Hood. Great blocking by Burgess as Hood taken down at the 44. Nick Jones on the tackle for Ball State.
Look, Danny, I'm a stickler for great blocks, but Burgess made a heck of a block towards the end of that play, just not to do it on his butt. Love to see that.
Offensive coordinator Brian Ellis mentions that blocking is done on all facets. We talked about the O-line, but he mentioned the blocking from the running backs and the receivers as well. And that was on display from Burgess. 2nd and 4. Vantrease throws, overthrows Hood. Make it 3rd down and 4 now.
Just a little bit too much oomph on that, but again, protection is really good. I mean, he has all day to make those throws. I mean, literally, Vantrease can tie his shoes if he wanted to. He can stand around, look at the fans. He has all the time in the world to make these plays. And right now, the receivers just got to get open a little bit earlier if they can on their routes. I know it's a little hard, but you got to get open a little bit faster.
That was the first incompletion from Vantrease. 3rd and 4. Under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Vantrease has a man, and it's Amari Jones, and gets a first down.
Really good route by Amari Jones. Runs a little curl route right there by the sticks. Finds a way to get vertical, get a little few extra yards after the catch, and makes it an even better first down pickup.
Be a 7-yard reception for the 5th-year senior from Frisco, Texas. Over 100 yards so far on offense for the Eagles in the first quarter. From the 36, handoff to Arnold. And he gets about a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Good job by the Cardinals on that stop.
Oh, yeah, hands down. You see what the Cardinals are starting to do now. They're keeping 3 guys on the line of scrimmage. They're going to have those 2. They're going to have a defensive tackle, a nose guard, and DN, and some of these guys are kind of coming down a little bit, stepping down to play that 4th guy.
After a gain of 2, pass to Burgess, and he was down when he made the catch at the 30. So gain of about 4 yards makes it 3rd down. Be the 9th play of the drive. You mentioned Ball State's defense. The Cardinals run a base 3-4, but sometimes will send 4 up front. And Van Treese passes tipped, almost intercepted by the defensive end, Kyle King. Got a hand up in time.
Like we talked about, Danny, you saw that 3-4. You saw they brought an extra guy. You can see it come in a little bit on the left side. See the P-Sean Wembley picks it up. Not the best pickup on that, and that's going to affect the quarterback a little bit.
Kyle King, the sophomore from Greenfoot, Indiana, one of the young players that the Ball State coaches talked to us about. And it's 4th down and 3 for the Eagles. They're going to go for it from the 29. Van Treese has to throw it quickly. Pass is deflected. And a turnover on downs. Clayton Cole and Sidney Houston read that well. And Georgia Southern unsuccessful on 4th down.
Tried to run that boot, and it just didn't work out. It just wasn't there. Defense did a heck of a job reading that. And way to just get a knockdown on the ball and force a turnover.
Cardinals will have the football after the break. How about the stop from Ball State's defense, especially the defensive line, making a key stop on that 4th down and 3 play from Georgia Southern.
Yeah, you saw the defensive line. They didn't fall for the boot. Everybody, they're kind of the elephants on parade. That's what they call offensive line when they see them run down the sideline. It wasn't effective. They didn't bite for it. Just really good recognition on the play, and then way to get your hands up and bat it down. This defensive line, they may have not generated a pass rush as of yet in this game, but they've played stellar against the run so far, regardless of the big plays they have given up. They've been playing pretty solid so far, Danny.
That time the stop was from the outside linebackers in Sidney Houston and also inside linebacker Clayton Cole. So 1st and 10 from Ball State's 29-yard line. Carson Steele gets gobbled up in the backfield. Great job by Quinn Williams for Georgia Southern on a big hit on the sophomore steal.
You talk about making plays right after you just turn the ball over on downs. What a heck of a play. And if I'm not mistaken, Carson still hasn't had a T4L yet. Hasn't been tackled in the backfield until today.
The first tackle for loss for Carson Steele will end the first quarter. We are tied at 3. Second quarter coming up after the break on ESPN+. Georgia Southern football is brought to you by the Saucy Shrimp, the whole 9 yards, by Zaxby's, indescribably good, and by Morris Bank. It pays to bank blue. Start of the second quarter here on ESPN+. We got to go back to that loss of a yard from Carson Steele because that's the first tackle for loss that he's had all season.
Yeah, when you look at it too, I mean, we see it looks like it's going to be a nice little inside run. Probably a little between that A gap, between the center, and way to crash down on that to make a play.
Anthony Wilson was on the stop as play resumes on the field. It's a quick pass from John Paddock, the quarterback for Ball State. And take a look at this. The fewest tackle for losses allowed, both Ball State and Georgia Southern atop the nation.
Well, I know one thing, they won't be tied by the end of the game right there. So Georgia Southern will be tied for TCU and right underneath Georgia.
Got to put both teams next to Washington or Vanderbilt. 3rd down and 7. Paddock throws, pass out of the hands of Jackson. Couldn't hang on. That'll be 4th down for the Cardinals.
You talk about crucial 3rd downs. You got to make the catch right there. Georgia Southern's defense has a lot of life in them. You get a tackle for loss right there against a really good running back. You want to keep that momentum going. And then, unfortunately, for Ball State, they couldn't make that catch on that crucial 3rd and long.
So a 3 and out. Great job by the Eagles defense after Georgia Southern's offense couldn't convert on 4th down. So Amari Jones deep to receive the punt. Lucas Barrow boots it deep for the Cardinals. Jones will take it at the 26 and will run out of bounds at around the 29.
One thing about ball carriers, Danny, what I've been taught is whenever you see a ball carrier in open space, if you're trying to make a tackle, force them to the sideline. Of course, if you're the ball carrier, you don't want to necessarily go to the sidelines unless it's open, but you want to keep that space there so that way you can make some cuts in on the field and create a big play.
Eagles back out on offense. What do you want to see?
Right now, I just want to see them get the ball rolling. I think the run game has been good to them. Right now, they have 64 yards off of 13 attempts, and I think you give it to Jalen White. Get him going, okay? He has 6 carries off of 30 yards right now. Keep the ball in his hand. Get him, feed him. Let him be the workhorse for this series.
1st and 10 from the Eagles 30. Burgess in motion. He'll get the screen pass, and he is hit hard right out of the gates. Jordan Riley read that pass well.
Oof. You could have saw my face right there, Dan. It's like if you had like one of those little sweet tarts in your mouth. That's exactly how I just reacted off of that. That was a huge hit. And the things about those plays, if you don't make those blocks in the perimeter and you had a guy come in free, you kind of read it really well and made a great hit.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some hard hits from Ball State throughout this game so far. 2nd and 10. Van Treese going deep. Does he have a man in Burgess? Ooh. Yes! What a catch!
Wow.
All the way down in Ball State territory. Derwin Burgess Jr., what a play.
Ooh-wee, boy, that was a big play right there. Little play action right there, and then just a beautiful ball down the sideline. Burgess makes a heck of a catch right there. Big boy play right there. Sports Center, you may want to put him in your top 10.
Burgess has made some big plays for Georgia Southern. That time, a 44-yard reception. And Georgia Southern at the Ball State 26. Handoff to O.J. Arnold. Trick play again. Burgess! Oh, he couldn't keep it. That was dialed up right for the Eagles. And Arnold had Burgess open alone in the end zone, but Burgess couldn't convert.
I know offensive coordinator Brian Ellis had the perfect play call drawn up. It would have been beautiful. Oh, man, that would have been great. Just had to do that one thing. Oh, man, make that catch.
That's all Burgess right there. I mean, we just complimented him for making that grab down the sideline. Would have been 2 in a row for a touchdown. But that'll be 2nd and 10 for Georgia Southern.
Gosh.
7 on the play clock. Play action, screen to Hood. And ball is out. And the officials are going to rule it dead. It'll be an incomplete pass. Make it 3rd and 10.
Whew. Danny, now, at this point, I'm moving away from these wide receiver screen passes. I'm not coming back to those anymore. Ball State's defense has read the last few times they've ran this play, they've read those very well. And guys are just going to get blown up time after time, and that's how you create injuries for your players.
So 3rd and 10. The Eagles so far 3 for 5 on 3rd downs. The 4 receiver set, 3 on the left side for Van Treese. Plenty of time in the pocket. Rolls to his right, fires, overshot Bo Johnson. And that'll bring it to 4th down. Van Treese has overthrown his receivers a couple of times already in the first half.
He just has to get the ball down a little bit. I mean, all right, Ball State was in cover 3 right there. Beautiful crossing route by the receiver right there. And then Van Treese, all you got to do is just deliver that ball to him. Kind of, like you said, Dan, he's been having some very high balls, and you see guys on the sideline just reassuring him just to relax. We're going to fix it. So that's something they got to fix on their next series on offense.
There were 2 for sure touchdowns that were missed on that drive for the Eagles. This is the 43-yard attempt for Alex Rayner.
It's just another big win for Ball State's defense.
Rayner converts. And 2 for 2 on the day. 6-3 Eagles, but great defense from the Cardinals in the first half. They get the ball back after the break. Georgia Southern football brought to you by Cutwater Spirits, award-winning and adventure-ready. Drink responsibly. By Yancey Brothers, live safe every day. And by Southern Exchange, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics. 43-yard field goal from Alex Rayner makes it 6-3 Eagles, but Georgia Southern had some chances to score on that drive for a touchdown.
Man, and they had plenty of chances. You had the big play right there by Burgess, and then here he goes again and has a chance to score a touchdown and then just drops the ball. And right here, Van Treese just has to get the ball down a little bit. Had a wide open guy right there and just couldn't complete the pass. So right now, Danny, it's just been Georgia Southern's offense not executed. They haven't been able to finish plays right now.
That ball will sail out of play, so the Cardinals will start from the 25 again. How can Ball State capitalize after defense made some great stops, forcing Eagle field goals?
Well, you got to be able to reward that defense for being able to hold Georgia Southern to only 3 points. I mean, you take away that big play, you know, that could have happened. You had a drop, and then you have another incomplete pass, and then you only keep them to a field goal. That's pretty big right there. It's a huge win for Ball State's defense. Offensively now, you got to create a drive, give your defense a break, kind of get them relaxed, get them back settled in, and you got to figure out a way to get some big gains right here on this drive and get some points on the board.
John Paddock back out there for the Cardinals, just 63 total yards of offense. Plenty of time in the pocket, throws to the near side. Incomplete. Waylon Free on the deflection as Tanner Koziel, the intended receiver for Ball State.
Really good coverage and kind of some leakage late. Sees a flag on the field already, and see one that far back. I can guess it's more likely to be holding.
Going to say holding on the Ball State offense.
Offense. 10-yard penalty.
Being the right guard, Jalen Turner.
Yeah, you saw the leakage that ended up happening right there on that play. I mean, one of the defensive linemen slanted hard in right there, and the play just wasn't there and kind of created a little bit of pressure, and that's what made that throw somewhat possible, but great defense on that play.
First down and 20. Back at the 15, Carson Steele, the handoff, breaks a couple of tackles and gets across the 20. So for Carson Steele, didn't have a tackle, didn't have any negative yardage until earlier at the last play of the first quarter. And now you see the Cardinals trying to get him more involved, but stepping off the field for the second down and 14 play.
Well, that's a guy they know they're going to rely on a lot in this game. I mean, he is one of the staples of this offense, a key component, and you want to be able to feed him as much as possible to get you going.
He's averaging 6 yards a carry. This time Paddock will pass on second down. Far side, caught. Jackson gets across for a Cardinals first down.
Great separation on that play by the receiver, and way to be able to create something to happen. And we look at the protection again, Dane. This is really good protection by that Ball State offensive line. It's just a beautiful ball thrown right there in a tight window, and if you really want to think about it, in a tight space.
Paddock throws, has a man in Amir Abdur-Rahman across the 50, taken out at the 47. Cole, you mentioned the O-line protection for Ball State. We talked about Georgia Southern's O-line. They haven't given up a sack all year. Well, Ball State's O-line has only given up 1 sack this season.
Danny, let me tell you something. When you got an offensive line that good, typically you have an offense that is just as good, and that's what both of these teams are having right now. Just got to get things rolling.
Handoff. Barely any yardage for Ball State. Vaughn Pemberton on the carry, only a gain of 1. Starting to see the Cardinals go for hurry-up offense in Eagle territory at the 45.
You want to keep them on skates, that's what you got to do. Apply pressure. Flag.
Officials going to talk things over. It appears that it may be on Georgia Southern. Anthony Wilson Seems to be upset with the official. Wilson's still trying to plead his case, and a couple of Eagle players have to calm him down.
Wrong talk right there going on. It's not typically pretty good when that happens.
Delay game. Defense. Clapping by the defense in an attempt to get the offense to move. 5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
Delay of game on Wilson for clapping. You see there in the far corner, Leeds was trying to get his defense to acknowledge the read or something.
That's a weird call. I mean, how often do you see a delay of game on the defense?
Rarely. Rarely at all.
I don't think you ever see that.
There have been a couple of unique things we saw. We saw a Carson Steele loss of rushing yards. We saw a big hit on the opening play on kickoff. And delay a game from the Eagles defense. That'll make it 2nd and 4 from the Eagles 40. Hand off to Steele. Gets to the hole, makes a man miss, and gets the first down for the Cardinals.
And some more laundry.
Another flag. Justin Ellis on the tackle.
Really good run right here. Just kind of that outside zone and good stretch play. And guys just got to make tackles on Carson Steele. I mean, he found a way to break some tackles and get loose and pick up a first down, but it looks like that's going to be coming back.
On the replay, it looked like a hold by the Cardinals center, Ethan Crow. Rather a hold by Ryan Lazon, the tight end.
Look at that again. Really good block. And that was a hold that did not need to happen, Danny.
On the left side of your screen, that was a hold by Lazon, the sophomore from Indianapolis. The tight ends for Ball State, the youngest of any position group, with a freshman, redshirt freshman, true freshman, and a sophomore. So 2nd and 14 from the 50. Paddock throws, has a man in Jackson. And Jackson taken down quickly by Free.
Oh, you got wrapped up well.
Tackle for the Eagles by Waylon Free.
Really good tackle. Really good route, too.
Eagle fans, it's third.
Really good route. A little zig and got Free. But really good kind of closing the gap on that play as well by the defender and making a big tackle right there. 3rd and long, you know what's coming, Danny. Let's see how these guys play. Got man coverage right now from what it looks like from the corners.
3rd down and 12, 3 down linemen up front for the Eagles. Man in motion is Koziel. 3-man rush. Paddock scrambles, throws, incomplete. Was looking for Will Jones on the flat route. That'll be 4th down. Punt team will come out for the Cardinals.
Really good stop by the defense right there. Ended up going cover 3 right there. Really good disguise in that. And we talk about that 4-2-5 defense. You can do a lot out of that defense, Danny. You can hide a lot of coverages and confuse an opponent's quarterback. And you saw that right there. And it looked like it could have been man coverage, but it was really just cover 3 and guys just playing in their zones.
It looked like a 3-3-5 there with a 3 down lineman and having 3 backers. Definitely made it difficult for Ball State to find an open receiver. That's why Paddock probably went for the flat route, the last option.
Yep.
Lucas Barrow on the punt. That ball will bounce into the end zone. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Georgia Southern leading 6-3. The Eagles back on offense when we come back. ESPN Plus, 6-3, Georgia Southern over Ball State with just over 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Penalties really halted Ball State's progression on their previous drive call.
Yeah, and we talked with Coach New and his staff, and they said they didn't start off fast in the last 3 games they've been playing, and you kind of see that right now. They're not starting fast on offense. Penalties, self-inflicted wounds have been killing them. As you can see, 3 total penalties for 35 yards where they could have had at least another field goal added on to the score.
20 of those 35 yards were in the last drive. 2 holding calls. And Georgia Southern Offense back on the field from the 20. Jalen White bounces to the outside, stays on his feet, absorbing multiple tackles, gets across the 35 and taken down 37. What a 20-plus yard play from the junior Jalen White.
And that's what Georgia Southern needs to keep doing. Feed Jalen White. Get him going. That's going to be the guy that's going to help carve up the path for some passing lanes to open up for Kyle Vantrease to really take this game over.
Rather a 16-yard run for White. Now 7 carries with 46 yards. Averaging over 6.5 yards per carry. Wearing the number 0 jersey this week for the Eagles. Man in motion is Darius Lewis. And a jet sweep to Lewis. Across the 40 and taken down at the 41. Malcolm Lee, the senior from Mobile, Alabama, on the tackle for Ball State.
And this is what Georgia Southern needs to keep doing. Keep the ball on the ground. It's weird that we're saying this because we know that Georgia Southern wants to throw the ball a little bit more, but keeping the ball on the ground is really working well for them so far. They need to keep doing that, and then if they need to make adjustments and after halftime, they can do that. But for right now, keep the ball on the ground.
The plays have been almost even, and even the yards have been almost even from the pass and run game. Vantrease throws, has Amari Jones, and Jones won't get far. Be third down for the Eagles.
Good pass play right there. And went through all his progressions, and he saw that only one guy was open. Way to throw that to that little hook and curl right there in the middle of the field.
3rd and 1. Hand off to White. Rather, Vantrease keeps. And we've seen Vantrease use that quarterback keep a couple of times this season. It was a quarterback keep that gave Vantrease the game-winning touchdown against Nebraska 2 weeks ago.
Well, Kyle Vantrease is what we call a true dual-threat quarterback. He can hurt you in the air, but he can also hurt you with his feet. He's a talented kid, and you saw right there on the read option, really good at reading that in, kind of crashing down on that. Everybody crashing in on that on the center, thinking the running back's going to get the ball, and he just keeps it, finds a way, gets the first down.
Coach Helton has mentioned the poise from Vantrease bouncing back after the loss against UAB in practice this week. He has been extremely focused in preparation for the Cardinals. Throws in the middle, caught. Jones again gets to the 30. Another first down for the Eagles.
Really good play there, finding Jones out there in space and seeing that kind of that hole in the coverage right there. Way to make a play happen. And way to keep the chains moving. Offense is rolling right now. This is what Georgia Southern has been trying to do all game, and they finally starting to somewhat get that going now.
That was a 20-plus yard play, 22-yard reception. Now 1st and 10 from the Ball State 30. Vantrease flips it out to White. Pass was tipped there for a moment, but White making a few men miss and taken down at the 26, gain of about 4.
White just took one of those guys' ankles right there. Like one of those Madden juice. It's unreal.
White had a couple receptions against Ball State, too, for 40 yards. Making instead a gain of 3.
Pistol.
2nd and 7. Hood in motion. White is taken down from behind. Lee making the play.
Real good right there. So you saw it was a pistol formation, good stretch run. They tried to bring a guy in motion to pick up as an extra blocker. Didn't necessarily work out as well as they probably should have, but really good run.
3rd and 5. The Eagles are 4 of 7 on 3rd downs. They were 11 for 20 last week against the Blazers. Approaching 6 minutes to play in the first half. Handoff, Gerald Green up the middle, gets the first down and more. Still on his feet, taken down at the 5.
Man, they got some great running backs right now for Georgia Southern. I mean, really good run right there. And I know that defense probably think it's going to be a pass because it's 3rd and 5, but instead, Coach Brian Ellis, he says, you know what, let's go ahead and keep the ball on the ground. Let's run the football right here. And it was just a beautiful delayed handoff to kind of get things rolling for that offense. And now here they are in the red zone. Let's see, can they punch it in?
That was a 19-yard gain from the redshirt junior, Gerald Green. 1st and goal at the 6. Play action. Vantrease lets it fly to the end zone. Caught. Singleton, no.
Wow.
Great coverage on the far side. Amechi Uzodinma II.
And that's one of their best coverage corners right there. And you can look at this replay, and, man, you would have thought that he caught the ball right here. I mean, looks like he had it and didn't secure it on the way down from what it looks like.
Incomplete pass. Uzodinma, one of the active corners in all of college football with over 30 pass deflections. Adding on to his total. Green on second down, gets to the end zone, touchdown Eagles.
Nice run right there by the offense. Really good play call. Looks like it was one of those little pin and pull kind of plays right there. You saw the guard pull out there, make a block, and it's an easy handoff right up through the A-gap. I believe that was a little A-gap power right there. Really good play call. And here they are. Georgia Southern gets first blood in terms of touchdowns.
4th rushing touchdown on the year for Green. And caps off a 10-play, 80-yard drive. After being stopped in the red zone and having to kick a couple of field goals, the Eagles get their first touchdown, and Rayner completes the PAT. 13-3 Eagles, 5:29 to go in the second quarter. More after the break on ESPN+.
Really good play right there. You saw that power run. Man, Gerald Green, have yourself a nice little touchdown run. And we'll see Georgia Southern come back, and we got a lot of great football ahead of us, Danny.
Over Ball State. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening in Statesboro, Georgia. Danny Wall, Cole Neely, and Amy
Thanks, Danny. Due to a handful of rules to protect quarterbacks on the field, they're usually not the biggest, strongest, or most aggressive players. That's not the case for Georgia Southern quarterback Kyle Vantrease. The 6'2", 225-pound signal caller actually recorded a tackle last week at UAB, taking his frustration out after throwing an interception. Vantrease showcasing he can pass, he can run, and is not afraid to hit someone. When I asked offensive coordinator Brian Ellis if he was surprised to see Vantrease finish the play, he laughed and said absolutely not. He said Vantrease is tough, veteran signal caller, and if he makes a mistake on the field, you better believe he's going to make up for it.
Cole, 120 yards, and even with a couple of quarterback runs as well. 2 carries for 8 yards tonight.
I'll tell you what, Danny, like I told you earlier, it's just like taking a pre-calculus test. You may fail the first one, but, boy, you can come back strong for that second one.
Play action, Paddock throws and caught. Brady Hunt gets across midfield. And how about the redshirt freshman, 6'6", and Brady Hunt? The Cardinals have some really tall tight ends.
Yeah, they might want to start a little three-man basketball team. See them in the Big Three one day.
They get a first down in Eagle territory. Quick pass caught on the far side by Johannes Tyler.
Really like that completion right there, but you want to see Paddock not throw that ball so far out. But he did throw it only in a place where where the receiver could only catch that ball. So really somewhat of a smart throw right there.
So again, a 5. Paddock throws again to the far side to Tyler again, and he gets a first down for Ball State.
See Paddock starting to get in a rhythm right now. The offensive tempo is starting to pick up a little bit, and that's something Georgia Southern has to figure out now. Defensively, they need to figure out how to take that tempo and that air out of this Ball State offense.
John Paddock, 9 for 12 at 79 yards. Approaching 4 minutes in the second quarter. Jackson in motion. Hand off to Pemberton. Nowhere to go. Wrapped up from behind by Dylan Springer.
There's not much to go right there. I mean, defense, again, kind of crashing in on the run. And, I mean, we've seen a lot of big plays happening in the run game so far. But, I mean, defense has been playing somewhat okay against it, just kind of stonewalling. You see some here and there.
88 yards for the Cardinals in the second quarter. Quick fire. Tyler again gets inside the 20. Tackled by Mark Stampley.
And right now, Paddock's taking advantage of what he's seeing right now. A lot of quick passes. That's how they're getting going right now on offense. And, again, the tempo's picking up. They're trying to keep this Southern defense on their heels.
No huddle. Handoff, Steele. Breaks the tackle. And still going inside the 15, taken down at the 13-yard line. The 8th carry for the sophomore Steele tonight.
You talk about special running backs that can run through anything. That is one of them. Carson Steele, I mean, it's just hard to bring him down. And you can tell he has a lot of power in those legs. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's going to be a hard guy to tackle. But if Southern can figure something out and bring him down, it may make their lives a little bit easier. Phenomenal athlete. Carson Steele, a freak athlete, listed in the top freak athletes of entering the season. Paddock back to pass from the 14. Caught. Amir Abdur-Rahman gets enough for a Ball State first down. I want to see this Georgia Southern defense start to settle in. Right now, they're getting on their heels right now. They can't find anything to kind of bring them back in, and Paddock's taking advantage of this. A lot of quick throws, as I mentioned earlier. These quicks are hurting this Georgia Southern defense because it's just play-by-play.
So first and goal from the 7. Can Ball State find the end zone for their first touchdown? Toss play to Steele. Bounces outside, has one man to beat in Derek Canteen, and Canteen containing Steele on the outside. It's a great job by the Eagles secondary on that play.
Really good, like you said, Danny, really good by the secondary. Way to chase Carson Steele out of bounds and not lose on the block.
Canteen with a great tackle, making it another loss of yardage for Carson Steele, the second time tonight.
It's going to be a lot of those for Georgia Southern's defense continues to keep their eyes up and play with a lot of aggression. You can tell that loss they took last week. You can tell that's really on their minds. That's bothered them throughout practice, and they're playing with a different fire. And you want to see that go.
The final score from Boone, North Carolina. James Madison 32.
So a timeout.
28.
First charge timeout. Georgia Southern. Timeout on the field.
Timeout. And we will take one with them. 1:57 to go in the first half. Ball State trying to get in the back on ESPN Plus, 13-3, Georgia Southern over Ball State. A great crowd on hand for Georgia Southern's homecoming game here at Paulson Stadium.
I mean, this is just a beautiful time. I mean, it's wonderful to have homecoming games because you get a lot of alumni, a lot of students to come back in and really bask in this energy and the amount of emotions that are here.
Out of the Georgia Southern timeout, second and goal from the 9-yard line for Ball State. Play action, Paddock throws, has an open man, Tanner Koziol, touchdown Cardinals.
Beautiful play call right there by Ball State's offensive coordinator. I mean, you look at Kevin Lynch when he called that play. I mean, I think he knew that eyes were going to be on that the guy going in motion, and that's where the defense's eyes were, and that brought them all over. It cleared the way for number 88, the tight end, to slip away and get that play action pass and catch that for a touchdown.
A true freshman with his third touchdown reception on the year. And we mentioned how big the Cardinals tight ends are. Koziol standing at 6'7", 230 pounds. Ben Van Guten on the extra point is good.
Extra point is good.
And Ball State back within a field goal. So you have to give credit to Ball State for getting the job done in the air as John Paddock throws his 7th passing touchdown on the season.
I mean, they're doing everything they can right now to not only stay in this ballgame, but take the lead. I mean, it hasn't been the fastest start for this offense. They did get rolling a little bit early, but then it kind of stagnated a little bit. But right now, that's a huge score to get with less than 2 minutes left in the half. That's really good for them. It's a little bit of a momentum booster for offense, and we'll see how Georgia Southern's offense can respond to what just happened.
10 plays, 75 yards, over 3.5 minutes of clock taken off. And you mentioned the young tight ends. Offensive coordinator Kevin Lynch for Ball State mentioned that they're getting better as this season goes along, and it's been the young tight ends that were able to get the Cardinals in the end zone.
And that's really good. You want to see your young guys develop as the season progresses. When you develop as the season progresses and you get better, you have the makings to be a really good football team down the line, and that's what leads to championship appearances.
You mentioned leadership. John Paddock, 12 for 15, 115 yards on the touchdown. We mentioned redshirt junior has been with the program for 4 years, but this is his first season as the starting quarterback. Fair catch called by Darius Lewis. So Georgia Southern looking to put some more points on the board before going into the locker room. We've seen how quick their offense can be. Is 1:54 enough time, Cole?
I mean, Danny, this is what we practice on Thursdays, okay? This is what we call 2-minute drill. So right now, we got to get the ball moving. You got to complete plays. If you're able to do that, you're able to get down the field just in enough time, you can at least come away with a field goal. But you got to protect. Guys got to get open, and your quarterback has to deliver the ball on the money.
That last part, very important. Van Treese has overthrown his receivers a couple of times. Back to pass again, has Singleton, makes the catch. Taken down quickly by Uzadima.
So as you can see, Danny, they're getting back on the ball. They got to get set because they don't want to burn those timeouts that they have left.
The Eagles have 2 remaining in the half. Ball State will fall 3, 2nd and 5. 3-man rush, Van Treese, plenty of time. Almost had Caleb Hood, bobbled it, incomplete.
You gotta make a catch when the ball's right there. And as one of my old coaches said, if the ball hits you in the hands and you're a receiver, you should be able to bring the ball in and complete the ball. Complete the catch on the ball.
It'll be 3rd down and 5. The Eagles 5 for 8 on 3rd down conversions, 2 for 3 here in the second quarter. From their own 30. 4-man rush. Van Treese floats one up, has an open man, caught. Derwin Burgess gets across midfield.
Tell you what, Derwin Burgess, he can make some of those big plays out there in the open field. I know he really wishes he had that touchdown catch.
That's something you don't want to see as he went down.
Able to get back up. I mean, you look at the replay, really good protection up front and way to deliver the ball on the money right there to Burgess. Hope the receiver's okay. Looks like he's walking off on his own strength, just a little shaken up. But, man, what a great ball.
The Eagles have already had a blow to their wide receiver core. Sam Kennerson, the redshirt sophomore, suffering a season-ending injury 2 weeks ago against Nebraska. And Burgess, it's great to see that he was able to get up quickly. He may have been banged up. But he'll go to the sideline after the 21-yard completion. From the Ball State 49. Van Treese has a man in Jones, caught, but quickly taken down by Jordan Riley for Ball State.
I'll tell you what, Danny, it's a good thing these receivers can jump pretty high, really good vertical jumps, because those high balls are starting to get those receivers kind of killed in the rib section.
Another timeout called. So Georgia Southern calling their second timeout. Here's the replay.
Really good protection right there. Again, offensive line has been phenomenal. You looked at the ball right there, really good on the money, but you want to see that ball come down a little bit, and that way he can hit Jones in the spot where he can make a move, make a guy miss, and get up the field. This is huge. You want to make plays as a receiver, especially in 2-minute drill. You want to get out of bounds. You never want to stay in bounds and have to burn a timeout that's unnecessary to burn. That's the crucial thing about 2-minute drill. Get out of bounds if you make a completion.
We'll see if the Eagles will continue to throw to the sidelines with 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 5 from the Ball State 44. Burgess back out on the field in motion. Trips right. 3-man rush. Van Treese scrambles out. Throws. Has a man. Taken out to 41. And that's Marcus Sanders Jr. on the reception. True freshman.
Gotta get set. Gotta get set. Nope.
Doesn't get the first down. It's a 3rd and 1. Under a minute to go. Ball State calling a timeout there. So Georgia Southern catching a break.
I don't know if I would have called that timeout right there from Ball State. But you know what? I understand why Coach New decided to go with that, because you want to be able to slow down that momentum that Georgia Southern's building up, and you want to be able to create some own for your defense, kind of give them a break and kind of regroup and see what you can do better and what coverages, or if you want to bring in an extra guy to make a blitz and make something happen and make Van Treese uncomfortable. That's what you want to do. You want to make Van Treese uncomfortable as much as possible if you're Ball State's defense and create a turnover to happen.
Well, Van Treese has been very comfortable in the pocket. 17 for 25, 155 yards. Hasn't been pressured much, but 3rd down and 1. And with 58 seconds to go, we'll see if the Eagles decide to run or pass here. Hood in motion. Hand off to White. And White may have been stopped.
Really bold call right there if you kind of think about it, Danny. I mean, defensively, they were in the 3-3-5, and Georgia Southern decides to run the ball, and honestly, not a bad decision to do.
4th and 1. Ball State going to call a timeout. This gives Georgia Southern some time to think. If you're the Eagles, you already had a 4th down try and couldn't convert. You go for it here.
Why not? You only got 50 seconds left, and if you trust your defense to kind of bow their necks and make a play, you do that. And we look at all the things that this team has done so far tonight in this offense. They've moved the ball well, and right here is kind of that crunch time moment where can they rely on their offensive line and their playmakers to make a play happen and keep the chains rolling, because the clock's going to stop on the first down. It's 51 seconds left in the half. You might as well go for it on 4th down. I don't think you have anything to lose right now.
Well, Ball State has to assume that it's going to be a run, and we talked about their base 3-4 defense, but they'll send an extra man. How many men do you send if you're the Cardinals?
You can't send a lot, because if you do that, Van Treese might carve you up. And we've seen Van Treese make some big plays, some high balls, but he's been able to figure it out.
4th and 1. Bo Johnson in motion. 3 down linemen, but 2 outside linebackers. Try to get him with the hard count. Play clock at 5. Oh, and that's going to be costly. Brian Miller, the 6-year senior. Call for a false start. So you could tell Van Treese was trying to get the defensive lineman to jump, but makes his own O-lineman go instead.
I'll tell you one thing. Van Treese was not happy after that penalty, because I don't know if he was going to go talk to the center or what, but no one else moved but the left tackle, and that might have been one of those where we don't have a play called. Why are you moving? And that would infuriate an offensive coordinator.
And 2-4 for the Eagles. They kick a field goal, so Anthony Beck on the punt. First time the Eagles are punting tonight. Drops at the 4. Can the Eagles keep it out of the end zone? They can't. So on the flip side, Ball State will have about 41 seconds to go 80 yards downfield. We haven't seen many big plays for the Cardinals, but we'll see what quarterback John Paddock can do on what will be the final drive for the Cardinals in the first half.
Should be interesting, but I can already expect the ball to be spreaded out. And Ball State, they have 1 timeout left, so you're not going to see the ball on the ground unless they, again, have a big play and they're kind of within kind of close to the red zone.
And we were surprised that Ball State called 2 timeouts on the Eagles' drive, but that turned out to help them. They were ready. And we'll see what the Cardinals can do. 41 seconds to go at the Eagles' 20. 3 receivers set. Paddock. Plenty of time, has to dump it. Throw it away. Got Trayvon Locke putting pressure on Paddock there in the backfield.
And we talk about big plays. That was supposed to be a screen to the back right there, and the defense did a really good job of kind of sniffing that out, adding a little bit of pressure. And one thing that defensive linemen are always supposed to do when they see a screen, retrace your steps, and that's exactly what they did. And that kind of made it a little bit hard for the offensive linemen to do their job.
All the Cardinals really need to do is get in the field goal range. Down 13-10. Paddock throws, has a man, Hunt. Gets across the 30 for a first down. Ball State has to be quick here. Didn't get out of the end zone, get out of the sideline. 31 seconds. Paddock throws. Incomplete.
So we talk about you want to get out of bounds in 2-minute mode, and the number one rule in 2-minute mode is to get out of bounds. And he violated the number 1 rule. You got to get out of bounds.
Of a 1-minute drill, considering when Ball State got the ball here.
Well, best case scenario, they can get a touchdown, of course, but they may get that field goal.
4 receivers, Paddock throws, slant route caught by Jackson.
Timeout.
But from who? Both the Eagles and the Cardinals with the timeout left. will be Ball State using their final timeout. 18 seconds left to go in the first half. The Cardinals out of timeouts. It's 3rd down and 2. Do you go for a deep pass here, or do you just try to run the clock out?
I don't think that Coach Newell wants to run the clock out right now. I think he wants to find a way to get some points, because you got to think about it, Danny. Ball State gets the ball after halftime. They start off in the second half with the ball. So if they find a way to tie the game, go into halftime 13-13, and they create a touchdown type of drive coming out of halftime, they'll be in the driver's seat. And I think that's what Coach Newell was thinking about.
Coach Newell told us that one of the keys to a win here against the Eagles is playing good, fundamentally sound football in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. Trips right. 3rd and 2. 18 seconds to go in the first half. Man in motion, Johannes Tyler. Quick throw from Paddock, caught by Jackson. Taken down quickly by Derek Canteen, and Canteen prevents the Cardinals from getting a first down.
See, Coach Helton's going to take that timeout now. Smart. It's smart in my opinion. I take the timeout, because if they decide to go for it right here, and you're able to create a turnover on downs, you see where you are. You can probably get a quick play out of that, and you may have to get on the ball quick and spike it. You set yourself up for a field goal, maybe a long one, but I don't know the range of Georgia Southern's kicker.
I like the idea of the Cardinals going for it on 4th down, but this season they are 1 for 7 in 4th down conversions through 3 games. Was 0 for 2 last week in their 31-0 shutout against Murray State. The offense is still on the field for the Cardinals, but with 10 seconds now, they put an extra second on the clock. Now the offense coming off the field, punt team coming in.
Okay, so now this is more than likely going to be some knees just to kind of go into halftime. You're already up 3 points. I don't think Coach Clay Hill's going to risk the biscuit right here. I think he's just going to take some knees and regroup in the locker room, get ready for second half of football.
I will say, you got to give a lot of credit to Ball State. They're going to get the ball back to start the second half, and within a field goal. Sbarro punts. Amari Jones back. Jones to the far side. He'll get gobbled up, and that's how the first half will end. Georgia Southern, a 13-10 lead over the Ball State Cardinals in this first ever matchup. John Paddock with a touchdown pass to Tanner Koziel. And Jalen White, or rather Gerald Green, with a touchdown run. Our own Amy Zimmer standing by with Eagles head coach Clay Helton.
You're able to find the end zone in the second quarter. How do you assess the first half?
Well, 2 good teams playing really clean football. No turnovers, not a lot of penalties, driving the ball down. Would have loved to see those first 2 drives end up with touchdowns to create more separation. But we got the separation right now with 1 score up. Defense is back out. Need to get a stop and give it to our offense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Danny, back to you.
Thank you, Amy, and that will end the first half. Georgia Southern up 13-10. We'll talk first half stats and more after the break on ESPN+. Georgia Southern football is brought to you by Vintage Barbers. Come kick back with us. By Vibe Broadband, we're freeing up and speeding up the way you live it up. And by Renaissance Bank, understanding you. 13-10, Georgia Southern over Ball State at halftime. Also, homecoming for Georgia Southern. And we watched throughout the break who the names of the homecoming king and queen were. And Emily Grace McWhorter named homecoming queen for Georgia Southern. It's such a monumental award for Emily Grace to win. You may know her from the sidelines. She's done some sideline reporting for our games this season for Georgia Southern on ESPN+. Of course, all the ESPN broadcasts are produced by Gatter Productions, a group on campus that is led by and produced by students. And how about Emily Grace, a senior, winning homecoming queen? What an honor, Cole.
I mean, hey, look, shout out to the homie, EG. I mean, that's a great honor. You know, Danny, I bet you didn't know this, but I was actually on homecoming court.
Were you?
Yeah. But I was in high school, though. Yeah, I was only in high school, though.
Well, back to the action and what we saw in the first half between Georgia Southern and Ball State. Coach Helton kind of touched on it, speaking with Amy Zimmer about how clean both teams have played offensively in the first half. And there you see the numbers. What stands out the most?
Really, those 66 rushing yards by Ball State. I mean, I was kind of hoping that Carson Steele would get a little bit more involved as the game was going on in the first half. But, you know, that's the reason why we got a full 4 quarters. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited to see what Ball State comes out with. I want to see those rushing yards go up some and get Carson Steele more involved.
Time of possession is what stands out to me. Georgia Southern holding the ball for over 18 minutes compared to Ball State's 11. But the 66 rushing yards stands out as well because last week against UAB, Ball State running back Dwayne McBride ran for over 220 yards against the Eagles. You can tell stopping the run game was on the top priority list for the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they emphasized that in practice. And shout out to defensive coordinator Will Harris for getting his defense ready for this part of the game. He knew this was going to be a game where defense had to bow their necks.
Defense was a big part of this game. Let's look at the highlights throughout the first half. What's been the biggest surprise for you, Cole?
Honestly, it's not really much of a surprise in my opinion, but the way Kyle Van Treese has responded to the game he had last week against UAB. He had those 3 interceptions. So far in this game, he's been playing a very clean game, no turnovers. I think as a Georgia Southern fan, you got to be excited. You know, you want to see Ball State try to make him a little bit more rattled, but we'll see what happens.
There have been some opportunities for the Eagles to score a touchdown. You saw the drop pass by Derwin Burgess, who was able to recuperate on that play. He has 3 receptions for 70 yards. But overall, I think you'll look in the second half and see Georgia Southern playing more composed because you mentioned, Cole, Kyle Van Treese kind of overthrew some of his targets. You see Clay Helton trying to hype up the sideline. You also saw Cardinals head coach Mike New. The Cardinals will get the football to start the second half. Michael Lance on the kick as that bounces out of bounds on a penalty.
It's not how you want to start the half.
Well, how do you want to start the half if you're Ball State?
Well, great field position coming up.
We'll hear from our referee, Marshall Lewis. There is going to be good field position. Ball State will have it at the 35.
Hey, you want to, in this game, you're only down 3 points. You want to get as many advantages as possible, and you want to get as many self-inflicted wounds that a team's going to give you, in a way, if that makes sense. You want them to continue to hurt themselves, and that was an example of hurting yourself right there that Ball State's going to take advantage of.
For the Cardinals, John Paddock has been fairly protected in the backfield. First play of the second half, handoff to Carson Steele. He gets gobbled up inside. Anthony Wilson, Dylan Springer, and also Mark Stampley on the combined efforts.
Yeah, I feel like that was an adjustment too. You saw there were some big runs that happened in that first half, but more other than that, I mean, the defensive line has played pretty solid. They've helped kind of contain Carson Steele in there. He hasn't even had 50 yards rushing yet, so they're doing a really good job on that interior defensive line.
45 yards on 10 carries for Steele, 2nd and 8. Paddock back to pass, throws far side, has a man in Tyler, and gets across midfield for a Cardinals first down.
So, Danny, you know how I told you one of the keys for Georgia Southern's defense, in order if they want to really win this game, they got to make it one-dimensional. So they're starting to take away the run game, but the passing game is starting to open up a little bit more for John Paddock.
This is where the Eagle defensive backs have to really play on their toes. Fresh set of downs. Steele. Nowhere to go. You see Justin Ellis there at the end, tried to strip the ball out. Another 2-yard gain.
So right now, again, you see the defensive line. They're crashing down on these gaps. They're taking away some of these running lanes. I think they want to put this game more in John Paddock's hands and force him to beat them in the air.
2 tight ends and 2 receivers on this Cardinals formation. They give it to Steele again. To the outside. Absorbs contact and scrambles enough for potentially a first down for the Cardinals. It's a great job by Steele. It's hard to tackle Steele overall when you're 215 pounds and a power back.
That's a bad boy right there, Danny. That's a bad boy. I mean, he just looks like he can squat probably about the whole couch.
Oh, interception. Wow. Mark Stampley Will it count?
Pass is incomplete.
No. An incomplete pass.
Defended for the Eagles by number 22, Mark Stampley, the second.
Let's look at that replay right here.
Down to 10 yards to go from the
See,
36
Paddock,
yard
it's
line.
not the best ball thrown right there. And, yep, ball definitely hit the ground.
So it would have been a big turnover for Georgia Southern. That's what defensive coordinator Will Harris mentioned that he wants his defense to have. At least 3 turnovers a game, and they haven't had a turnover since their first game of the year against Morgan State. 2nd and 10. Paddock throws far side. Caught. Hunt keeps it in. And that will be a completion.
Pass complete to number 80, Brady Hunt.
See right here. Oh, that's an MA right there by the safety.
Oh, what a catch.
Huge misassignment by that safety right there, Danny.
And 2 yards to go from the 28-yard line.
3rd and 2. At the Eagles' 28. Handoff. And great stop by Quinn Williams. Pemberton, nowhere to go.
And you saw that, Danny. You saw how Paddock was all up in the back's face right there, because he saw that too, and he noticed that the back was tiptoeing through the run.
4th and 1. The Cardinals go for it quickly. Quarterback sneak by Paddock.
Some really good push up front.
Does he have enough for a first down?
Paddock on the quarterback sneak.
Making substitutions like he did. Look at this push right here. Georgia Southern wasn't even set. But kudos to number 2 went to the defensive lineman, Latrell Bullard. I mean, he's a big guy right there. He just kind of plugged up that center.
Bullard was heavily praised by the Eagles coaching staff for having 6 tackles last week against UAB. The true freshman, but 6 foot, 345 pounds.
Whew. Now, Danny, I was an offensive lineman a long time ago. I know I may not look it anymore, but I'll be real with you, man. It's hard to move those kind of guys.
Well, the Cardinals O-line managed to push Bullard out the way as Paddock got enough for a first down. What's the biggest defensive lineman you faced in your career at Furman?
I don't know about necessarily the biggest, but I can tell you the best, though, if you want to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the Power Rangers. I want to say it was between, I think it was Dexter Lawrence, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So first down for the Cardinals at the Eagles' 26. Second 4th down conversion for the Cardinals this season. 9th play of the drive. Eagles send 5. Handoff to Steele. And Steele gets taken down after a gain of about 1. You talked about the strength of Carson Steele. Well, it said in the Ball State game notes that Steele can squat 615 pounds, bench 405 pounds, and power clean 305.
You know, Danny, the closest I've come to having 600 pounds being lifted was on a hip thrust. I can't squat that. I can't even lie to you on that one.
Only got 1 yard on that carry. 2nd and 9. Pemberton in motion. Paddock will keep. And he doesn't get far. Tackled by Quinn Williams.
Really good by the defense, adjusting to that. Keeping the eyes on the quarterback and being able to make a play. Saw 2 defenders on him as soon as he tried to get vertical up the field.
Steele goes off, and we'll see Will Jones in the backfield next to Paddock. Trips left. 3rd and 6. You see the Cardinals haven't been efficient on 3rd down that well. 1 for 6. Empty backfield. 4-man rush. Paddock gets it out quick. Pass is caught. Johannes Tyler with his 6th reception on the night. First down, Cardinals keeps the play alive, the drive alive. Hurry up offense. Hand off to Jones. And Jones gets taken down by Marquez Watson Trent after a gain of 2.
It was a good tempo run right there. I mean, I understand they're probably looking to get a little bit more out of that play just to kind of keep that Georgia Southern defense on their heels. But still, good job on the defense being able to kind of just allow just a couple yards on that run.
From the Eagles' 12. 4.5 minutes gone by in the 3rd. Second down, Steele breaks through and then gets 8 up by Kadri Jackson.
I'll tell you one thing, Danny. It's kind of like a shark in water right now. Instead of smelling blood, they're smelling Carson Steele out. They've been making plays on him really all night. They haven't really let him get loose just as of yet. I mean, his biggest run today was almost 20 yards.
Well, Coach Harris mentioned how the team spent this week working on form tackling because they knew they needed to take Steele down, and Jackson did just that.
Yeah, way to make a big play on that stretch run and not let him get outside and cut the corner up and get vertical for a big play.
3rd and 11. After the loss of 3. Paddock throws, caught. Jackson taken out at the 10. Derek Canteen on the stop. And that'll bring out the field goal unit for the Cardinals, but a chance to tie it up.
Really good defensive series by Georgia Southern. Even though they kind of did let the ball get moved on them a little bit throughout the drive, but way to bow your neck right here in the red zone and create some plays and create some opportunities for you just to only give up a field goal and have the potential to block one.
Be a 26-yard field goal attempt for Van Gooten. Already connected on 1 in the first half. 2 for 2, and we are tied at 13. They'll cap off a 15-play drive for the Cardinals. The Eagles will get the ball when we come back after the break. Tied up at 13 with under 9 to play in the third. Cardinals kicker Ben Van Gooten tying things up with a 27-yard field goal. Tied up at 13. Amy Zimmer got to speak with Cardinals head coach Mike New prior to the second half beginning.
Caught up with Ball State head coach Mike New coming out of the locker room. I asked what he plans to change in the second half. He told me they need to limit self-inflicted wounds and open gaps. Coach New added he expects a better half of football and was very upbeat and told me, quote, they plan to turn it up.
Well, the Cardinals turned it up on a 15-play, 56-yard drive to tie things up at 13. We'll see how the Eagles respond with their first drive in the second half. Darius Lewis calling a fair catch. We thank you for joining us on this Saturday night in Statesboro. Danny Wall, Cole Neely, and Amy Zimmer on hand on Georgia Southern's homecoming game. What do you want to see from Van Treese here coming back on the field?
I actually want to see him just start slinging the rock a little bit more. I want to see him take some shots. So we talked about the high balls he had in the first half. Let's see, can he get the ball down a little bit and kind of hit it on the money and kind of in those receivers' chest.
He's been effective, 17 for 25, 155 yards in the first half. Joe Green, the running back, to the left of Van Treese. From the Eagles' 25. Play action. Van Treese drove it deep, had Jones off the hand. Is there a flag? Yes. Amechi Uzodinma going to be called for pass interference there.
Smart play right there in a way because he sees the coverage and he throws it over there. I think he would have had the receiver if it wasn't for that PI.
Defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Van Treese, you wanted to see him throw the ball downfield a bit and open it up, and he did just that on the first play.
Might have an open mic in here us talking about him. Who knows? But you want to see him complete a ball and out there in space.
From the 40, 1st and 10. This time Green on the carry. If he's lucky, he may get a yard. A 6th carry for Green. The balance of plays between passing and running have been fairly even throughout the night for the Eagles.
I think right now they're just trying to find some rhythm. You saw that was a counter run right there. Only got a yard. Honestly, Danny, both teams, even though they've had some rushing yards, some runners take off, hasn't been that great in the running game.
2nd and 9. Burgess in motion. Approaching 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3-man rush. Van Treese, plenty of time. Going deep for the home run. He's got Burgess, and Burgess taken down inside the 5.
And mama, there goes that man. I mean, that's what I was looking for, Danny. I was looking for Vantrease to take a shot down the field, and they're picking up the tempo because they're going to punch. They're looking to punch this in. They want to punch it in now.
That was a 53-yard pass deep to Derwin Burgess. His 4th reception, now 123 yards receiving. Eagles in the red zone at the Ball State 6, 1st and goal. Green trying to push his way through, may have gotten to the 5.
Man, that was a heck of an explosive play. I mean, and then try to punch it in on the ground game and get the ball going and just try to emphasize a little bit on the run game.
It'll be a gain of 2 rather for Green. From the 4. Eight on the play clock. Vantrease switching some things up. Gonna throw. Plenty of time. Rolls to his left. He's gonna keep. Gets to the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
Great decision by Vantrease right there. He didn't see anything. He didn't see anybody get open. He said, you know what? I'm going to make the play myself. I'm going to tuck it in, and I'm going to go score. Nice 4-yard run by Kyle Vantrease right there.
2nd rushing touchdown on the season for the 6-year quarterback. After Ball State took 15 plays to get a field goal to start the second half, Georgia Southern answers going 4 plays, 75 yards in 1 minute and 46 seconds. Alex Rayner with the PAT, 20-13 Eagles, and Cole Vantrease turned it up on that drive.
He sure did, Danny. I mean, look at this right here. Beautiful protection up front. Guys taking beautiful kick slides, and then that big, nice pass down the field to get them going. And then right here, Vantrease says, you know what? I don't see anybody open. I'm just going to tuck it. He's not going to catch me. He's a little slow. You know what? Touchdown. This is fun. Man, Kyle Vantrease.
Kyle Vantrease, nicknamed the Ginger General, leads the Eagles down the field, 4 plays, 75 yards, and takes it to the end zone on his own for a 4-yard touchdown, putting the Eagles up 20-13. How about the response from the Eagles, Cole?
I mean, look, Danny, I'll tell you what, the Ginger General, I don't know if that was a coin name by him, but it's kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. But they looked really good on that drive, real polished. Really beautiful by Vantrease, exactly what we were hoping to see from him.
And then the defense, or special teams rather, keeping the energy up. And Vantrease was nicknamed the Ginger General by one of his high school coaches and kind of stuck with him throughout college and really got the name picked up a lot more by his efforts against Nebraska 2 weeks ago.
The Ginger General. Huh.
It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, you know, it makes me think of those, what's the General commercials that you see on TV sometimes? Makes me think of those.
Ball State looking to answer back on their own 17.
Oh, man, you can hear the momentum on the southern side right now.
Paddock rolls to his left, throws, has Steele. Steele makes a man miss, gets to the 25, gain of 8.
Man. Carson Steele, he's going to be a guy that continues to shows up for this Ball State team whenever they need a play out there in open space. And he may not be having an impact on the ground like he typically does, but he is having it in the air.
That was his first reception on the night. 2nd and 2, trips right. Paddock in the backfield. Rather Steele, and Steele nowhere to go. First contact was by Quinn Williams, and Steele, who didn't have any negative yardage plays in the first 3 games, now has about 3 tonight.
I'll tell you, that Georgia Southern defense is coming up big right now against this Ball State offense. They're finding ways to make plays happen, and it looks like offensive linemen are just ducking their heads. They're not getting their heads up and trying to get their hands on defenders, and guys are getting swammed by this talented defensive line.
3rd and 5. Paddock throws near side, caught. Jackson down the sideline, pushed out at about the 40. Great response from the Cardinals with their third down conversion on the night.
And that's exactly what Ball State needed right there to get the ball going. Big play right there, and here they are, fast tempo.
Wasting no time, screen pass to Jackson. Ja'Shawn Jackson, the senior from Chicago, Illinois, now 8 catches on the night. He has been primary target number 1 from Paddock.
You can tell they have a deep connection right there. I mean, 8 catches so far. I mean, nice ball right there by Paddock. Here's Ja'Shawn Jackson really on the money right there. He hits it in stride, and defense makes a good play by pushing him out of bounds.
That was a 37-yard reception on that play. Handoff to Will Jones. Nowhere to go. Anthony Wilson and big Latrell Bullard on the stop.
Right now, Danny, it looks like Georgia Southern's defense is making Ball State's offense one-dimensional. They're trying to eliminate the run altogether, and right now they're really doing that this drive. They're eliminating the run. They want to see Paddock beat them in the air. I mentioned this earlier. They want John Paddock to be the guy to try to beat them on the air. Excuse me.
Well, Paddock has done that. 22 for 28, 222 yards and a touchdown. Trips left on 3rd and 6 from the 37. They give it to Steele, and Steele. Wow. Man of Steel pushes a man off, and he gets the first down. Ball is out, recovered by the Cardinals. Almost a turnover, but how about Carson Steele powering his way through for a Cardinals first down?
Wow. I mean, the blocking up front was great. Inside zone run right there. Center picks up a really good block, and then Carson Steele just pretty much does most of the work after that. I mean, gets rid of a few tacklers, stiff arms the guy, puts his hand all up in his face mask and says, "Get off of me," and almost runs through a guy. You want to see him finish the drive by not fumbling, though.
It will be 1st and 10. Steele now with 70 rushing yards from the 18. Will Jones. Tackle for loss.
They're going to run the ball, and that stretch didn't work. Guys didn't shoot their head. The offensive lineman didn't shoot his head across to kind of help reach that defensive lineman, and that's what causes help to come in. That's where the backers and other defensive players are able to come in and make a play, and that's another tackle for loss that ends up happening.
Loss of 2. The Cardinals 3 for 4 in the red zone tonight. From the Eagles 21. Timeout going to be called by Ball State with under 4 minutes to go in the third.
First timeout, Ball State.
We will take it with you. 20-13 Eagles, but Ball State trying to tie it up again. Eagles mascot Gus with the Georgia Southern band having a good time as the Eagles leading 20-13, but Ball State threatening. It's 2nd and 13 from the Eagles 21. Cole, you mentioned how Georgia Southern has been able to limit Carson Steele, but on the big run he had in this drive, it seemed like he found his momentum.
Yeah, I think you might want to stay with Carson Steele here. I mean, he's kind of creating some havoc.
Out of the Ball State timeout, 3:55 to go in the third. Paddock throws, short pass is caught. Johannes Tyler with his 7th reception, but did not get far.
I understand the decision, Danny. And you want to try to get some of those yards back after that loss on that stretch run on that first down, but I don't know. I still would have tried to find a way to put the ball in one of my best playmakers, and that's Carson Steele.
Only a gain of 1. 3rd and 11. Paddock throws, caught, touchdown, Jackson.
Man. You know what? John Paddock is a guy that, again, he's threatening this Georgia Southern defense in the air. He's done such a great job of that this whole game. I mean, you look at him, 23 for 29. Has that touchdown pass right, it has a touchdown pass right there, 224 yards. Might be a second one for the night if I'm not mistaken, Danny.
19-yard touchdown pass from John Paddock, his 2nd on the night. We have ourselves a game here in Paulson.
Couldn't ask for a better game on homecoming night, right, Danny?
Absolutely, partner. Van Gooten with the PAT to tie it up. And we are tied at 20. A 9-play, 83-yard drive capped off with John Paddock finding his #1 man, Jayshon Jackson.
And you talk about connections right here, fakes the play action right there. You got that big play right there. Jayshon Jackson makes a huge catch right there. Gets a little sandwiched a little bit right there, holds on to it, doesn't drop it, and he's playing great right now. That's huge for Paddock right now. John Paddock is playing out of his mind right now.
And Amy Zimmer has more about Ball State quarterback John Paddock.
Thanks, Danny. The college football transfer portal saw a 25% increase from last year's cycle. However, Ball State starting quarterback John Paddock wanted no part of it. The fifth-year senior was willing to wait his turn, and now it's paying off in his first season as QB1. I asked head coach Mike New how his relationship with Paddock played a part in the signal caller sticking around as a backup. New told me over the years he continued to tell Paddock he believed in him. Paddock responded by continuing to work hard behind the scenes. For example, spending hours in a dark film room because he was committed to finishing what he started. To attest to Paddock's hard work, offensive coordinator Kevin Lynch added Paddock might be a first-year starter, however, performs like a veteran quarterback.
Thanks, Amy, and great decision-making as well. Coach New also said his confidence level continues to grow. And on the road, trying to keep that momentum going from the Cardinals 31-0 shutout over Murray State, tied up at 20. And we'll see how the Eagles respond. And there is still plenty of time left to go in this game. We are only in the third quarter, 3:19 left. From the Eagles 25, 1st and 10, Van Treese, handoff to Jalen White. May have gotten 2 yards. And we talked about the Eagles defense limiting the Cardinals running game. We haven't seen much from the Eagles running game tonight, Cole.
It hasn't been a game where the run game is truly taken over. I mean, so far over 120 yards on the ground for Georgia Southern, but it hasn't been a dynamic rushing game yet.
Almost a quiet 123 yards from the Eagles on the ground.
Extremely quiet, like a kitchen mouse.
2nd and 9, only a gain of 1. Play action, Van Treese lets it fly. The Singleton. Does he have the catch? No. At the last second, Uzadinma knocked it out of the hands of the 7th-year senior.
Wow. Man. The way the ball was thrown. All right, it wasn't a bad ball that was thrown. He came back, adjusted the ball. It looked like he had it. He just couldn't just keep his hands on it. And, man, that's another big play that the Eagles have not completed today.
3rd and 9. Georgia Southern 6 for 10 on 3rd downs. Hood in motion. Heavy rush by the Cardinals. Bo Johnson can't hang on. And how about the Cardinals defense forcing a 3-and-out?
Well, you saw that pressure that kind of came in late, Danny. They brought a guy off the edge. Even though looks like he was picked up by the back didn't deliver a good enough block on him. And then that kind of forced Van Treese to get a little bit uncomfortable, and it almost threw. Could have been picked if the ball was tipped a little bit higher.
So the punt team out for the 2nd time. Anthony Beck has a leg. He's got plenty of room to work. Jayshon Jackson back on the punt return, and Beck, ball bouncing down the sideline, didn't get all of it that time. Awkward boot from Beck on the punt.
Yeah, Danny, when it first came off the foot, and I was like, oh, it's not going to be a good punt, and it took some Eagle bounces and kind of took them around about close to the 25 maybe?
The 26, or rather, plays at the 23. Here's a comparison between both quarterbacks, John Paddock for Ball State and Kyle Van Treese for Georgia Southern.
Man, John Paddock, he's playing out of his mind right now. Only 6 incompletions, no turnovers for both quarterbacks. They're playing well, but I mean, John Paddock, if this was the last drive of the game or the game was over right now, John Paddock hands down has had the better night. I mean, Van Treese has some high balls, but we'll see what Paddock can do on this drive.
Paddock back to throw on first down. Pass is caught on the far side. Nick Presley with his first reception tonight. The main targets for Paddock have been Ja'Shawn Jackson and Johannes Tyler.
And those are two guys that he relies on a lot in this offense to make plays.
It's a 1-2 punch in the receiving core. 2nd and 4. Hand off to Steele. And Steele gets a first down. You mentioned how the Eagles wanted to force Paddock to get the job done in the air. Well, Paddock has responded very well. 25 for 31, now 249 yards, has 2 touchdowns. And now that's an opportunity to open up the running game for Carson Steele.
Yeah, did you not just see him leap over a defender again?
We talked about Steele's strength. Great block on the play action. Pass is caught. Tanner Koziel making the catch, but only a gain of a couple of yards.
Steele did a really good job on that pass play right there. Made a great cut on the guy that was blitzing in late, trying to make a hit on Paddock. I mean, Steele's been playing, again, he's a very talented back, and that's, I think, the best player on this offense. Maybe not tonight, but in general, I think he is the best player on this offense.
Final minute in the 3rd quarter. Play clock at 11. Handoff again, this time to Pemberton. And Pemberton still on his feet. Great job by the O-line pushing him through. And he's got a first down for the Cardinals.
Gosh almighty. Speaking of offensive line, I mean, Danny, we haven't seen a sack yet. We've seen some tackles for loss, but we still haven't seen a sack yet. It's been a really clean game by the guys up front.
Pemberton again gets across midfield at the 50. That's where he'll be taken down. And with 25 seconds and counting left, the Cardinals are going to try and get one more play off.
I don't know if I do that, to be honest.
We'll see if it works. It's a pass near side and deflected by Derek Canteen. Johannes Tyler was the intended receiver.
And that was dangerous. That was about to be the first huge turnover of the night.
Almost on cue. You said you didn't know if they should have done that or not. Derek Canteen, the redshirt junior from Evans, Georgia, on the pass deflection. He is DB number 1, guarding the best receivers on the offensive side. That's what defensive coordinator Will Harris wanted to see from Canteen, challenging him on a week-to-week basis.
I like that. I like the young man stepping up to the challenge right there. I like when DBs are challenged on an island. It shows if you're really about that work or not.
3rd and 6. Paddock throws, caught. Jackson still on his feet, going to the outside. Inside the 30, taken down inside the 25. That's going to put Ball State in great field position as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. Buckle up, folks. We got ourselves a game on our hands in Paulson Stadium. Tied up at 20. 4th quarter coming up after the break on ESPN+. Georgia Southern football brought to you by Dolan's Barbecue. Girls can cue too. By Uncle Shug's. Good food, good service, and good times. And by Johnny Boy Cookies. It all started with Grandma's Recipe. Paulson Stadium electric. 4th quarter about to begin. Tied up at 20. Amy Zimmer has more on this atmosphere.
Well, this is Ball State's first ever trip to Statesboro. It's not for head coach Mike New. Get this, 22 years ago, Coach New got his first head coaching job roughly 80 miles away with the Augusta Stallions, an Arena Football League 2 team. I asked Coach New if he ever made a stop in Statesboro. He responded with a big smile and said he scouted at Georgia Southern one time where he saw Hall of Famer Adrian Peterson play for the Eagles. New added he remembered Paulson Stadium having an awesome atmosphere, seeming like a very tough place to play.
And it seems like the Cardinals, Amy, have been able to answer the call as Carson Steele on the carry to start the 4th quarter and get the first down for Ball State.
But I tell you what, Danny, that man Carson Steele, that's a bad man. It's one of those, what they say in Shaft, that's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
18 carries for 85 yards. Fresh set of downs for the Cardinals. 9th play of this drive. from the Eagles 16. Paddock throws, has a man, and it's Tyler once again with his 8th reception. Johannes Tyler, 8 catches. Ja'Shawn Jackson, 10 receptions, 122 yards. They've been getting the job done.
Hands down, Danny. I mean, Paddock's been great tonight.
For a gain of 3. Hand off to Steele. And Steele ate up by the big freshman Latrell Bullard. 340 pounds of raw energy.
Raw muscle, Danny. This is raw muscle.
It's going to be hard trying to get past a big boy like that.
I mean, he just pretty much ate up the blocks. I mean, found some leakage right there and made a big play in the backfield. I mean, good grief.
No gain. 3rd and 7. Paddock back to throw. To the far side, caught by Tyler. Does he have enough for a first down? He will be...
He's going to be short.
Yep. And he's going to be short. 4th and 2. Do you go for it here?
No, not in this game right now. Not right now, Danny. I go for it if there's maybe like a minute left and my defense has continued to play stout.
We're tied at 20. There's no real need here. If you were down, that's a different story.
Yeah, there's just absolutely no need. There's so much football left in this game right now. Still a little less than 13 minutes left.
A 25-yard chip shot for Ben Van Gooten. He has been perfect all night and will continue to be perfect and gives the Cardinals the 23-20 lead. 12:39 the play in the 4th as Van Gooten caps off a 12-play drive for 69 yards. The Eagles get the ball back when we return. Ball State, their first lead of the night, 23-20 over Georgia Southern. Still plenty of time to go in the 4th, over 12.5 minutes. Cole, how do the Eagles need to come back out here on offense?
You got a lot of fire under this offense right now. I mean, this is a ball game. This is a slug fight. You got to get the ball rolling. You can't have high passes. You need to complete every pass, or at least try to complete most of your passes. And you need to open up some lanes in the run game if you really want to get down the field in time to score a touchdown, or at least get 3 points on the board to tie it up.
It's been a back-and-forth matchup in this first ever matchup between the Eagles and the Cardinals. Darius Lewis lets that one go in the end zone. Van Treese looks to lead his offense from the 25. And we know how quick the Eagles offense can be. So they don't need much time, and the last touchdown they scored was off a 4-play, 75-yard drive.
All it takes is one big play, Danny, and next thing you know, you're looking down, you're like, golly, how'd he get down here so quick?
Gerald Green in the backfield with Van Treese. J.J. McAfee in motion. Van Treese throws near side, has Derwin Burgess. Gets across the 35. Derwin Burgess Jr., 5th reception. And he's been the one to make the big plays for Georgia Southern tonight.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. And Van Treese has done a great job delivering the ball to his receivers. I mean, no turnovers so far tonight, and here we are in the 4th quarter. He's playing pretty well, considering that.
Fresh set of downs. Empty backfield as Arnold's in motion. Fakes a screen pass. Van Treese, plenty of time in the pocket. And he is taken down. That's going to be the first sack given up by this Eagles offensive line. And Tavion Woodward on the stop.
You know, Danny, yes, that's going to be a stat in the stat sheet right there. However, I'm going to put this on Kyle right here. He doesn't see anything. That's a self-inflicted sack right there. Yes, that's going to be against the offensive line, but I don't think that their coaches are going to be like, that's really on them.
A player down for the Cardinals is Nick Jones. But for the Eagles, offensive coordinator Brian Ellis said that 90% of the sacks are on the quarterback. They have to get the ball out of the hands quick. Kyle's done a good job of that. And he had plenty of time in the pocket that time, but couldn't let it out quickly. You see Jones, the junior from Detroit, Michigan. He was big in the Cardinals' 31-0 shutout over Murray State. Had 2 interceptions.
Well, I want to just back up for a quick second, Dan. You said 90% of sacks are on quarterbacks?
You must feel good hearing that, being an old lineman that may have given up a sack here and there in your career.
Well, hold on, Danny. Now, I ain't never give up a sack now, Danny. I've never given up a sack. I can say that with my chest out. I've never given up a sack. I was pretty solid in pass protection.
We're looking at offensive coordinator Brian Ellis. He was the co-offensive coordinator at Western Kentucky last season. First year with the Eagles. 2nd and 11. And Gerald Green ate up in the back. Kyron Mims, the redshirt sophomore. And how about this Cardinals defense really answering the call on the road, forcing a 3rd down.
That was just really bad up front right there. I mean, guys are not getting their hands on the fenders, and they're getting swam. I mean, it just was not that was just not good at all, Danny.
3rd and 14. Van Treese lets it go quickly. Is it caught by Hood? Yes. Caleb Hood with a reception down at the 48 and keeps the Eagles drive alive.
Heck of a catch right there. Solid protection. Kind of guys came in a little bit late, but Van Treese able to get that ball off. Only where Hood was able to catch it.
16-yard reception. Was almost taken down by Woodard again. Van Treese, quick throw, goes to Singleton for the safe play. Singleton taken down at midfield. Be a gain of about 2.
And just to compliment, honestly, Ball State's defense, they're swarming to the ball a lot better than they did in the first half. They're chasing the ball. The ball carriers. Pursuit is a huge thing for defenses, Danny. You want to be able to pursue the ball fast and get there quick.
Making a gain of 3. Handoff Green. And Green met by Cole Pierce, the redshirt junior.
That Ball State defense, they're showing up a lot more. They're getting a little. They've been showing up a lot in this game, but they're starting to show up a little bit louder this time around.
No gain on the run. The Eagles 7 for 12 on 3rd downs. In Ball State territory at the 49. Throws incomplete. Was looking for Burgess, and Burgess wanted a pass interference.
Pass intended for Derwin Burgess Jr.
Looks like he just couldn't get his eyes right on for that too. I mean, where the ball was at, I mean, that's just tough. I mean, solid pickup on the pass protection. Defensive line tried to run a quick little stunt, but I mean, that's not what you want. For, you know, if you're Georgia Southern, you don't want that. You don't want to go on a 3-and-out.
We'll see if Beck can have a better punt than the last time. And that is not the response that the Eagles wanted.
This would be huge if he can pin them within the 10 for that Southern defense.
Better kick this time from Beck. Will drop at the 6, and an Eagles bounce will put him inside the 10. So that time, special teams getting the job done on Beck's punt.
Like I said, Danny, you get it within the 10. That's not a bad place to put it.
Ball State with the football when we come back. 10:03 left to go in the 4th. Ball State leading 23-20.
Every Monday night at 7 o'clock.
Georgia Southern football brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By Morris Bank, it pays to bank blue. And by Wild Wing Cafe, hot wings, cold beer, good times. Georgia Southern's offense couldn't respond after the Ball State field goal. So how can the Cardinals here capitalize with a 23-20 lead, Cole?
You want to get out of the kind of, you want to get out of your own 10. You want to get past that, get out of your inside of your 10-yard line, and you want to get the ball moving. Try to see if you can pick up a good, at least 3, 4, 5-yard gain.
The Cardinals starting from the 8. Carson Steele gets to the 11, maybe the 12 on the first down carry.
Almost busted out of there. Just one shoestring tackle away from having a much bigger run right there.
That was Steele's 20th carry. He has 88 yards on the night. 2nd and 7. They give it to Seal again, and this time met in the back by Quinn Williams.
That's all Ball State really needs to do right here. They just need to run the ball enough to kind of give John Paddock enough time to sit back there. If he wants to, if they decide to throw the ball right here, they just need to give him enough room to where it's not a safety and it's not a huge problem if he does get sacked.
Third down and 5. Koziol in motion. Paddock throws, caught by Koziol. Or not. Pass is incomplete. Koziol couldn't hang on at the last second. Great job by the Eagles secondary.
Heck of a job by them, and way to get Ball State's offense off the field right there. And then also, you should be in solid field position after this punt, which is what Georgia Southern needs. They need to find a way to score some points, either to tie this game up or take the lead back.
That is a big Eagles 3-and-out stop from defense. Borrow to punt. Amari Jones back to receive, and that ball will bounce around at around midfield, and Georgia Southern will be put in good field position. Under 9 minutes to play. The Eagles back on offense when we return. Georgia Southern has the football, and you saw Kyle Vantrease in the last drive get sacked for the first time. You can see how protective the O-line has been, and the same for Ball State entering tonight's game.
Yeah, Georgia Southern is going to join that long list of teams that have only given up 1 sack so far.
Vantrease play action. Plenty of time going for the home run ball. He has Caleb Hood in double coverage, deflected.
I like the thought behind that. Take a shot. Why not? I like the idea behind it.
Amy Zimmer with an injury update on Ball State.
Thanks, Danny. Ball State junior cornerback Nick Jones left the field and hopped on a bike and then was taken to the tent for further evaluation. Ball State athletic trainer tells me it's a left leg injury and he is questionable to return.
Thank you, Amy. 2nd and 10. Vantrease, another throw to Hood and incomplete. And a flag will be thrown near the 30.
Should be a first down coming up.
Jaquan Amos was on the coverage, man coverage on Hood.
Pass interference, defense, number 16, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So right here, I mean, you see the number 16, he doesn't get his head turned around to see where the ball is, and that's typically where those pass interference always come in, when the defenders don't get their heads turned around to see where the ball is, and that's an easy call for the officials.
From the 28, Eagles still moving. Quick pass, tipped, almost intercepted. Riley almost there.
A little dangerous right there. I mean, good grief.
You could tell that Riley thought it should have had it because he was doing push-ups right after. That's usually a player thing that you make a mistake, you got to pay for it somehow, some way.
Well, there's been a lot of push-ups being done tonight.
A lot of leadership, though.
There is a lot of leadership.
In the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Screen pass, this time Amari Arnold. And Arnold taken down at the 26.
Now, this is what you call a crucial 3rd down right here, all right? Because they need to either get the first down or they need to continue to stay in a manageable position where they can kick the field goal.
There's only a gain of 2. Jordan Riley for Ball State was limping. He tried to call off the trainers. They made their way onto the field. Able to walk off on his own power. 3rd down and 8 from the 26. 4 receiver set.
It's out of pressure. You know it's coming now.
Now you see Vantrease changing things up. 8 minutes to go in the 4th. Quick throw by Vantrease. Has Amari Jones. Makes a man miss. Gets inside the 15 for an Eagles first down.
Really good play right there. Way to make a guy miss out there in space and then get some more yards after the catch. The Eagles are rolling right now. High-tempo offense starting to kick in.
Georgia Southern in the red zone. They have been a perfect 3 for 3. Arnold on the carry. Gets inside the 10, tripped up at about the 7.
Backs are doing a great job of running the rock right now. I mean, way to have some patience, see where the hole's going to open up at, and then strike it at full speed. Don't tiptoe through it. Way to get some big yardage, 7 yards on that carry.
From the 7-yard line.
And they're moving.
From the 7. 2nd down and 3. Play action. Dump off to J.J. McAfee. And McAfee to the pylon. Touchdown, Eagles!
Huge play right there. They got the whole defense to bite on it, on that boot. The boot, everybody was going one way. Kyle Vantrease just dumps it off. And way to make a huge play right there and kind of just put your whole body out there to score a touchdown. You just gotta love football, Danny. I mean, just guys just going and doing big things for each other.
Eagles back on top. 7-yard pass from Vantrease to McAfee. Vantrease's first passing touchdown on the night, and McAfee's first touchdown reception on the season. PAT is good by Alex Rayner, and it's 27-23 Eagles with 7:04 left to play in regulation. A 6-play, 43-yard drive took 1 minute and 47 seconds off the clock. Vantrease leading the Eagles downfield. Great passes to all of his receivers. Great runs by Amari Arnold, and capped off the pass to J.J. McAfee with a touchdown. More when we come back on ESPN+. These young Georgia Southern fans want to see an Eagles win. 27-23, Georgia Southern on homecoming as well. Kyle Vantrease, a 7-yard touchdown pass to J.J. McAfee to put them up ahead. Now, if you're Ball State, Cole, how do you respond after the Eagles touchdown?
I think you somewhat try to drain the clock a little bit, establish your run game that's already starting to get established in this half. Keep feeding Carson Steele, and then John Paddock, I mean, hands down, he's been the guy that has led this offense in just tremendous ways in this game tonight. So, you know what? I'm going to put the ball in Paddock's hands for the rest of the night.
First year as a starter, but a redshirt junior with incredible leadership and poise throughout the night on the road. From the 25, low snap. Pass is tipped. Quinn Williams got a hand up in time.
Pass is incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10 yards.
Hey, that was a good deflection right there. I mean, talk about low snaps. Low snaps kill plays right there, and you saw that. I mean, that throws off the timing of a play, and what probably would have been a completion, it turns out to be an incompletion.
Williams, a redshirt senior from Madison, Georgia. This is where you want your veteran players to close out a game. 2nd and 10. Paddock throws in the middle, short of his intended target.
Man.
The flag on the play.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15-yard penalty.
And that's going to be a penalty on Georgia Southern, roughing the passer.
Oh, come on.
Justin Ellis there at the last second.
That's a boneheaded move by Justin Ellis. You saw that the ball's coming out. I understand it's hard to stop your momentum, but he kind of put his shoulder into that, so that was a well-deserved penalty flag.
Ellis, one of the team captains for the Eagles, 6-year senior. So 15-yard penalty, 1st down, and Paddock looking for his number 1 man, Ja'Shawn Jackson, passes incomplete.
So, Danny, I don't know if you noticed, we talked about Paddock and his poise throughout the game, but I've seen him get really riled up at times where he's yelling at guys and he's getting in their, in their tails. Kind of a little bit of foots in the rear.
The urgency has picked up Hand off to Steele. Bounces out to the left. Breaks a tackle. Gets across midfield. Pushed out at the 46. The flag late. They have had some action on the Eagles sideline, some chippiness in this close game. We'll see who that flag is on. And will it be a self-inflicted wound for Ball State, or will the Eagles have more penalties here in this drive?
See some guys on Georgia Southern sideline pointing the other direction, so it looks like it's going to be a self-inflicted wound, maybe on Ball State.
When you're in a close game like this, you have to keep emotions in check.
There's a long discussion going on right now, I'll tell you that.
The result of the play was a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 6. That's first time. It is first down.
Causing a self-inflicted wound for Ball State. You see both coaches, Mike New for Ball State, Clay Helton for Georgia Southern. First ever matchup between these two programs.
It's a little disappointing. That guy's a senior. You can't have boneheaded mistakes like that. You're down 4 points. You're trying to put a drive together and score some points to take the lead here, and you can't have self-inflicted wounds like that.
It will, however, be first down for the Cardinals because Carson Steele picked up the first down. But Paddock looking deep, downfield, incomplete. Ja'Shawn Jackson double teamed by Justin Birdsong and Derek Canteen.
Great job by Canteen getting his head around, because really the receiver had a step on Canteen and the ball was a little bit underthrown, but Canteen kind of adjusted really well to it and made a play on it, and here we are with an incompletion, and that prevents a big play from happening.
That's the matchup you want to keep an eye on. Wherever Derek Canteen is covering, that's going to be the primary matchup, and right now it's covering Ja'Shawn Jackson.
Canteen Island.
2nd and 10. 3 receivers on the right. Paddock looking deep again. Oh! Justin Birdsong breaking things up. Amir Abdur-Rahman, the intended receiver.
Birdsong sung a song on that one, man. He was about to have an interception. And I knew where Paddock's eyes were going, and I don't know the decision behind throwing it in that coverage right there. I mean, there's 3 guys in one area. I think he would have had maybe the tight end, number 80, if he would have looked that way.
3rd down and 10. Paulson Stadium coming alive. Four-man rush. Paddock lets it go. It's caught by Brady Hunt, but he will not have enough for a first down. The Cardinals now 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions in the 4th quarter.
Oof. That's huge right there for that Southern defense right there. And you see the defense coordinator telling his guys to stay out there, but it looks like they're actually going to punt it. So I might go here just like a little safe punt just to be sure that they're not going to try anything crazy and try to do a fake punt.
There you see defensive coordinator Will Harris for Georgia Southern extremely pleased with his secondary on that drive. Canteen and Birdsong, the 1-2 punch in the back. Lucas Barrow punts it deep. Amari Jones calling for a fair catch at the 12. Now if you're Georgia Southern, a chance to run the clock out, put an extra score on the board. What's the big key here for the Eagles?
For me, and I know it's still kind of it's not early, but you still got a little less than 6 minutes. I kind of be in the mindset of a 4-minute offense, maybe run the ball, try to pick up some big yardage, and then just kind of take my time and let the clock wind down a little bit, kind of put Ball State in a bad position, even if Georgia Southern were to punt the ball off.
At the very least, the Eagles need to either run the clock out or get a field goal to make it a 7-point lead.
Exactly.
Hand off to O.J. Arnold. Tackled at the 17. Arnold, his 5th carry on the night.
Just to add on to that list, Danny, as you said, at the least, you can't have a fumble and you can't have a turnover.
Got to play clean football here in this final stretch. Be a gain of 4 from Arnold. 2nd and 6 from the 17. Arnold again. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets a first down, and then some.
And that's what you got to do. Keep the chains moving, but at the same time, just keep running the ball. Take the clock down. If you throw the ball, you get an incompletion. That stops the clock, and that helps out Ball State. And Georgia Southern's doing a great job moving people. Oh, my goodness, that was such a great block right there. Way to cut the ball inside.
I was looking at the same thing. The left guard, Pishon Wembley, pushed that D lineman out of the way for Arnold to get space.
I mean, you could drive a truck through that, Danny.
True
really
freshman as well. Playing like a junior or a senior. Play clock at 5. First down again. Arnold following his blockers. Sidney Houston on the tackle, and notice he's trying to get a strip at the very end.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to get that ball out because they know exactly what Georgia Southern's going to do. They're just trying to run the clock out, and really good patience by the running back, but you want to see that guard get moving a little bit faster to clean out anything that's going on. I believe that was a tackle, actually.
So gain of 2 at the 28. Trips right. Jalen White back in the game. He'll get the handoff. May get to the 30, but push back towards the 29. 3rd and 7. Do you run or pass?
3
36
minutes.
rather.
A little less than 4 minutes. I mean, do you want to trust your defense? And they've given up some passing yards so far, a lot tonight, but I might just keep running it.
Van Treese has made some quick throws throughout the night. He has 4 receivers out there. 3 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Burgess in motion. 3.5 to play. Van Treese lets it go quickly, bobbled, caught by Hood. Gets to the 36. How about Caleb Hood? His 4th reception. And a big one at that.
Going to be a little short right there. Good protection. Guy coming off late. It's like came from coverage and blitz, but man, Hood, way to little juggling action.
So it is going to be 4th and short. If you're the Eagles, do you go for it? They're 1 for 2, or rather 0 for 1. We'll see what the chain gang has to say. If Hood got the first down or not. Short. Inches. Do you go for it, Cole?
The conservative part of me says absolutely not. You punt this ball away and put the game in the hands of your defense. But the aggressive side says, "No, go for it, man. Put it on the offensive line. Say, hey, you know what? We need some push. Go and get it for us. We need it." And they're going to stay out there.
One of the staples for the Eagles. One more time. Coined by Irk Russell, who won 3 national championships for Georgia Southern back in the 80s.
Here we go. One more time. But then you could just see them not run a play here and just try to draw Ball State off sides. That's a huge possibility right here.
Last time that happened, Brian Miller was called for a false start.
Yeah, that is true.
3:20 and counting. 4th and 1. Van Treese will keep, and he'll get a first down.
Really good decision by Van Treese. Instead of just trying to go through the center, he lets everything kind of settle out, and then he goes a little bit outside to the right and finds a little lane to cut in and pick up the first down. Goes outside the tackle, falls the tight end, and picks up the first down. That's huge for that drive.
One thing to keep in mind, Ball State has 2 timeouts left. As we are under 3 minutes, Georgia Southern has all 3. From the Eagles 39. Jalen White gets through, still on his feet, and gets across midfield. The power of Jalen White picks up an Eagles first down.
Beautiful run right there. Nice outside zone stretch run right there. Finds a little crease in there, makes a small cut, and gets vertical and just breaks tackles left and right. I'm curious, Dan, we need to figure out how much he squats. He's just running through guys.
Well, he's 6 foot, 215 pounds, and powers his way through for a 12-yard gain. He has 63 yards on the ground in 12 carries. Two minutes left, play clock at 7. Ball State not using their timeouts. Hand off to White. Gets tripped up in the back by Sidney Houston.
Jalen White on the run.
I didn't really like that play call right there. I understand the patience that was in that, and you're trying to run that counter. Just wasn't a really great kick out block by whoever was trying to make a bad block on that defender.
Ball State will use one of their final 2 timeouts with 1:50 to go in regulation. So for Georgia Southern and Ball State in this first ever matchup, conference play right around the corner for the Ball State Cardinals out of the MAC. They've already played one game against Western Michigan 2 weeks ago. They will go back to MAC play next week and will head back home. They'll host Northern Illinois for the upcoming schedule. The only final non-conference game in the mix is UConn, but the rest all MAC play.
And to be honest, Danny, those are the games that really matter, or the conference games. I mean, yeah, you want to win in all your games, but when it comes down to it, you just want to win the conference.
For Georgia Southern, their first 4 games have all been non-conference. After tonight, it is all Sun Belt, or some would dub it the Fun Belt, the way it's made national attention throughout the first month of college football.
It's definitely been fun. I'll give you that.
It's been fun here tonight in Paulson as well. 27-20, Georgia Southern. 1:51 to go in the 4th. Out of the Ball State timeout. 2nd and 10. Handoff, White again. And this is mainly just to take more time off the clock.
Jalen White on the run.
And this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to force Ball State to burn those last 2 timeouts. They want to get them, if anything, even if Georgia Southern were to just kind of go 3 and out right here, it leaves Ball State with no timeouts.
Well, if the Eagles get a first down, it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Out of the final timeout from the Cardinals. They get the first down, they end it. But Georgia Southern goes back on the road for the next 2 weeks at Coastal Carolina, at Georgia State. 2 teams that was on primetime ESPN2 this week, with Coastal Carolina beating the Panthers.
Tell you what, Coastal Carolina is going to be a hard game to play, especially out there in Myrtle Beach. I mean, that's going to be a really good game to kind of tune in on. And talk about Georgia State. They may have not gotten things going offensively yet, but Darren Granger and the rest of that staff, they're figuring things out on offense slowly but surely. They could be a team to watch in this home stretch.
From Myrtle Beach to Atlanta, Georgia, then back home to host James Madison. Speaking of Atlanta, James Madison beating Appalachian State. The Mountaineers pulling the Falcons, blowing a 28-3 lead.
Why you had to say that?
I'm sorry.
Danny? Why you had to say that?
Had to join that in there.
You had to do that.
Anyway, out of the Ball State timeout. 3rd down and 8. A first down could end it for the Eagles. Van Treese back to pass. Rolling towards right. Going for the home run ball. He's got Amari Jones. Touchdown Eagles.
Wow. Heck of a play call, but we'll see what that flag is. There is a flag on the field.
Penalties decline. Soka plays the touchdown.
Touchdown Eagles. Penalty was on the Cardinals. That may have sealed the deal. Kyle Van Treese, 47-yard dime to Amari Jones.
Heck of a play call right there on the 3rd and long. You see guys are moving all over the place. A guy gets open. Amari Jones gets open on the crossing route. There's nobody out there in coverage. Blown assignment by Ball State's secondary. And, man, here we are, 33-23. Could be 34-23.
Kyle Van Treese, 310 yards in the air. His 2nd touchdown pass. Amari Jones' 2nd touchdown reception on the season. PAT from Alex Rayner makes it 34-23 Eagles, and that may seal the deal.
Danny, that definitely might seal the deal. I mean, and even if Van Treese's night is over, as we look back at this right here, so you see the holding call right there that happens. Burgess gets held, but no one is back there in the secondary to cover number 5. We don't see Jones get covered at all. There's nobody back there. Just a beautiful play design, beautiful, just keeping your eyes down the field and seeing the receiver get open. And Danny, if Kyle Van Treese's night is over, he's not throwing a single interception, no turnovers by him. I think that's a huge win by Kyle Van Treese in this offense.
The one small blemish would probably be the sack, which in that case, I would have to say that would be on Van Treese because he had plenty of time in the pocket. But nonetheless, a 10-play, 86-yard drive. The Eagles took almost 4 minutes off the clock. Only 100 seconds, a minute 40 for Ball State to try to mount the comeback.
Van Treese better take these offensive linemen out to eat. That sack was on him.
The kick by Lance. Called right at the goal line. We've seen leadership from both quarterbacks. We saw it from Van Treese. Can we see it again from John Paddock for the Cardinals?
Well, Paddock's going to have to get down there. Now, they're going to be in 2-minute drill right here. This is 2-minute mode right here because you got to score a touchdown. You can't allow yourself not to score something. You got to put some points on the board because right now you're at a deficit. You're down 11 points, and you have no timeouts. You got to get down the field fast.
Paddock 30 for 42, 290 yards. He also has 2 touchdowns. What play from the quarterbacks tonight? 3-man rush. Paddock throws in the middle. Incomplete. Was looking for Tanner Koziel. And notice how the Eagles bringing everybody back, only sending 3 up front.
Yeah, I mean, you can trust 3 guys can make an effective pass rush. If you have a lot of trust in who's out there, you see Justin Ellis, you see guys that know that they can get after the pass rusher. Not the pass rusher, the quarterback. They have faith in those 3 guys.
3-man rush again. Paddock throws, has Koziel this time at the 45, gets to midfield. Remember, the Cardinals have no timeouts remaining, so they have to be quick, and they are being quick. Quick throw by Paddock. And Abdir Rahman, gain of about 9. Call it 8 instead.
And in a way, the receivers are kind of playing with fire right here. And I understand you're trying to get more yards, but right here, try to get out of bounds. Like that.
Abdir Rahman again. This time goes out of bounds. How about that? Already in Eagles territory, that quick.
Somebody's hearing me on the field, man. I'm telling you.
1:06 to play. From the 27. Paddock throws. Intercepted. Justin Birdsong. And that'll do it.
Justin Birdsong, sing your song. Because, man, that was a heck of a play. I mean, we've seen Paddock kind of throw some of those balls in the middle, and there's not been a receiver inside. They've been kind of not accurate at all, and been waiting to see a guy make a play on it. And finally, it happens with Birdsong getting an interception to seal the game. Well, really can't even seal the game right now because you got to get out. You got to get past your 1-yard line. Can't take a knee right here.
The 5th-year senior from Lithonia, Georgia. His first interception on the season. 4th career pick. He is down at the 1. So you're right. Even though the Cardinals out of timeouts and 1 minute and 1 second left, the Eagles have to run some plays to get it out of their own end zone.
If anything, all they need to do is just maybe 2 yards at best. That's all they need. You get those 2 yards, you can take some knees, and you can celebrate in the locker room after that.
Normally, this is a cliche or a victory formation for the Eagles, but when you're at your own 1, you got to at least run 1 or 2 running plays, and you don't want a safety and then give the ball back to Ball State. Even though if a safety were to happen here, it would still be a 9-point Eagles lead, but you still would give the Cardinals 1 more chance, and Van Treese doesn't want that to happen.
No, so I'm expecting a direct run, but you know they're going to bring the house right here, and they're going to try to stack or kind of bring those defensive linemen in and pinch those guys in towards the center and kind of create some havoc.
Shotgun formation. Vantrease hands off to Jalen White. And White breaks a couple of tackles, gets towards the 5. Maybe called down at the 4. But that may be enough for the Eagles to finish this one off.
Danny, I think you said it. That's all you need to do, because the play clock's at 28 seconds. The game clock's going under 40. So all you need to do is just take a snap as soon as it gets down to maybe about third right now, really. And
the Eagles are in their victory formation.
It's game.
Vantrease behind the center. He will kneel it. What a second half. Georgia Southern, 21 points in the second half. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Kyle Vantrease with 2 touchdown passes in the fourth. Found McAfee to retake the lead, and Caleb Hood to seal the deal. Georgia Southern will improve to 3-1 on the season and will complete their non-conference portion of the schedule. It is all Sun Belt from here on out. Our own Amy Zimmer standing by with Eagles head coach Clay Helton.
Danny, Coach Helton, you're tied at 20 after the third. What was the message to the team entering the final quarter?
Just continue executing. I really thought the fourth quarter we finished great on both sides of the ball and finally got the turnover we needed right there at the end to solidify it. So great job by Coach Ellis, the offensive staff, to really make some good adaptions at halftime, and defensively when we needed the stop, came up twice, one in the backed up and then one with the turnover at the end.
How do you build off this when entering Sun Belt Conference play?
We've learned a lot of lessons over the last 4 games, and to sit here 3-1 now going into conference play with the lessons that we've learned and protecting Paulson 2-0 on the season. We're proud of this moment. We'll celebrate it and then move on to a really good Coastal Carolina team.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Danny, back to you.
Thank you, Amy. Georgia Southern, a 34-23 win over Ball State. We'll wrap things up after the break on ESPN+. Back inside Paulson Stadium, final score, Georgia Southern 34, Ball State 23 on homecoming. Georgia Southern with 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter to get this win and improve to 3-1 on the season. Back inside the broadcast booth, Danny Wall, Cole Neely, Amy Zimmer down the sidelines. And Cole, when it came down to it in the fourth quarter, Vantrease, the Ginger General, led his troops down the field to pick up a win.
Well, he sure did. The General did lead his troops. And, I mean, Kyle Vantrease played really well tonight. I mean, no turnovers. That's something that was huge for him. I mean, you have come off a game throwing 3 picks, and now you have 0, and you have 2 touchdown passes. It's a heck of a night. You better take your offensive lineman out to eat, especially because you cost a sack yourself.
Can't take away from Ball State as well. John Paddock played a great game for Ball State, but the Cardinals now 1-3 on the year, heading back to Muncie.
Oh, hands down. Ball State did an incredible job. I mean, John Paddock, he played well. He played really well. Of course, he had that interception at the end of the game, but outside of that, I mean, Paddock played tremendous, and I think Ball State has a lot to be excited about when they go back into conference play.
Overall, when it came down to it in the second half, Kyle Vantrease led the way. Looking at the highlights, what did you like the most from the Eagles' performance, Cole?
I really liked Vantrease's poise the whole game. I mean, you can tell he had some high throws in the first half, but he always reined it back in, and he played really well. He just found ways to get the ball to his receivers and make some really big plays happen, and you can look at the highlights right here. I mean, Vantrease has the making to be a really great quarterback in this conference, and he's going to have to be great when they go to Coastal Carolina and they play in Conway, South Carolina.
It is all Sun Belt Conference play from here on out. Vantrease also with a rushing touchdown back in the first half. So 3 total touchdowns on the night. And now the Eagles done with non-conference play. It's all Sun Belt from here on out as they get ready for Coastal Carolina. Ball State will head back home and prepare for Northern Illinois in the MAC. So for Cole Neely and Amy Zimmer, I am Danny Wallace saying so long from Paulson Stadium, where the final score is Georgia Southern 34, Ball State 23 on homecoming. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.